At Kroger, we believe fresh means holding our produce to a higher standard. That's why we do up to a 27-point inspection on our produce. Like for citrus, we check for things like scarring and sunburn. Yep, oranges can sunburn. And we'll make sure you never see it. In fact, we only allow the best oranges, lemons, and grapefruits to reach our shelves. Because when it comes to fresh for everyone, we believe the juice is worth the squeeze. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
This is Jordan Grace, and you're listening to the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
BWB, this is One Nation Radio. You better get it right. Rich Latta, James Boyd came to give them life. The Blackest Wrestling Podcast has come to kick all ass and drop it 6 feet if they're kicking trash. Word, let me welcome y'all to something different. And if you dig it, man, you should let some friends listen. We be getting it in, this on the regular, dude. Ravish and flow, but this shit rule. See, James don't rap, so I had to break it down. The whole network, man, we coming for the crown. Raps in the columns, I keep them both covered. Making the beats too, so the listeners can bump it. Hit us with the rating, yeah, I'm saying it's a 5. Before you hit it, talk, bob your head side to side. It's One Nation Radio, and this is the beginning. It's Rich, and I'm here with James. It's time to listen to One Nation.
You got to unleash the power of the pyramid.
This is Mike Sempervive from WrestlingObserver.com. Check me out on Wrestling Observer Live every day. And also check out your boys, Rich and James, on One Nation Radio.
This is Kenny Omega. We're listening to One Nation Radio. Check it out, guys. These guys know what's up. Big Kenny Omega fans, that's all that counts to me. Goodbye and good night. Bang.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's edition of One Nation Radio. I'm James Boyd, and here with me I have Rich Latta. What's going on, man?
Chilling, man. Just hanging out, ready to get it started. We got a big show here. We got the AEW Revolution pay-per-view preview. These AEW pay-per-view weeks tend to be pretty newsworthy, like in social media, and it'll be good to have a preview out Monday and just see, what else is added throughout the rest of the week and the news that pops up. And Tony Khan's a big announcement Wednesday, so eager to see what that is. What's up with you, man?
Not too much. Just want to give a quick shout out to Sam. Earlier today, I ended up doing his AEW match guide. We ended up doing the ladder match, AAA ladder match between Young Bucks and Lucha Bros from 2019 All Out. That was fun to cover. Like I rewatched it today, and man, that match is great. The match is still great. That we make those jokes like that shit don't hold up. That shit does. It do.
Speaking of features, I actually did one as well. I did a show with Joey O'Doherty. He's hosts a John Moxley career retrospective podcast, and I asked to talk about his last 6 months in WWE. So, because I felt like I could talk about that from memory, and I had a blast going down memory lane and talking about the creative collapse of WWE and looking like and figuring out exactly when Moxley was like, I'm out of here. And he started mailing it in and pulling that full James Harden, quite frankly.
And much like James Harden, when he ends up in a different situation, he balls out. Yeah. I'm glad
I don't know when that'll be out, but that'll be out soon, I guess.
Okay, I'm glad you answered, because I was about to ask you, why the fuck would you want to talk about Dean Ambrose's last year in WWE? That shit stunk. But, I get it now. I get it.
Yeah, man. So I guess we should probably start with AEW.
Yeah.
With the preview for Revolution. Revolution kind of has the history of that explosive barbed wire death match, has the tag match from 2 years ago. This is the show where MJF beat Cody. What else? Moxley won the AEW title for the first time at this event. Hangman Page worked, magic with Matt Hardy, damn near broke his back, to keep that, at a respectable level there. So I'm very excited about this show coming up. I think some of these matches have just tons of build and lots of good stories coming into this thing. And I think we should get a few killer matches and actually get to be there in person. This will be my first AEW pay-per-view since Double or Nothing 2021, which I had a great time at. I can only hope that this pay-per-view crowd, brings the energy like that one did. Even though it'll be hard because that was like the first one everyone was allowed back at.
All right, so where do you want to start?
So I got Wikipedia pulled up, so I'm just going to go 1 through 9. So we got Jade Cargill against Ty Conti for the TBS Championship. Not really much build on this one. This one's like a New Japan challenge. Tay Conti just walked out after Jade's match with the Bunny. That match was a struggle, I would say. But it was funny. They did have like two heels trying to cheat to win, so it was funny seeing them both try to do that. But we got Jade versus Ty Conti. I'm not predicting any title change here. I think actually it would be lunacy if they switch the title here.
Yeah, same here. This is a match that I can quite frankly see being on the pre-show, because if not, it's going to be the intermission match, if you will. So, depending on how they want to treat this, if they want to kind of get rid of that, and say forget how they do it over there, or do it over on that side. How we do it here is we have matches that people care about all up and down throughout the card. Then they might be best service to put this on the pre-show.
Yeah, they could easily swap this out. Usually they announce that stuff ahead of time, so I don't know if it's a case of if it's going to make the show or not, but if it does, that'll be one of 2 women's championship matches on the show. So the next match that we have, I'm going with Jade for the record. So,
oh yeah, same here.
We've got the AHFO, so Andrade, El Idolo, Matt Hardy, and Isaiah Cassidy will be taking on Darby Allin, Sting, and Sammy Guevara in a 6-man tornado tag team match. So this kind of came unexpectedly, I would say.
Yeah, I gotta say, there's no way around it. I'm disappointed this is the match. I thought we were going to get a triple threat match for the TNT title between Sammy Guevara and Andrade, El Idolo, and Darby Allin. I understand that Sting don't miss, but I really want that match. If they don't give, if they're going to do this, okay, but I hope I get that match eventually.
Yeah, I looked at it and I was like, well, Sting doesn't ever miss, so I'm sure this will be a fun car crash. This could be pretty much anywhere on the card. It could be a match before the main event. It could be, it could go on second, third, anything like that. So, not sure how it's all going to play out here, but I'm going to take, Sting doesn't lose. So I'm going to take Sting, Darby, and Sammy. This one, hopefully they do some crazy shit because you got Sting in there, or excuse me, not Sting. You have Darby in there. You have Sammy. You have Andrade, who is, kind of about it. And I think Isaiah is going to have a point to prove. This might be, I don't know how long it's been since he's been in a pay-per-view match. So I think they're going to come ready. And then, if Matt Hardy knows how to do anything, is be in a multi-man match full of weapons and stuff like that. So that's kind of how his career, kind of progressed out, that he specialized in those.
So, do we need to do the math or do the counting and figure out when Jeff Hardy's 90 days are up?
I'm sure someone can do it, but he already said he's on the way in.
Okay, did he get released before or after Tony Storm?
Tony Storm was after him. Because Tony Storm was the last day of the year, damn near.
The 29th or something like that.
Yeah.
I ended up doing the math on that, and she, whether or not she can show up at Sumo Hall, she can't. She'll be out she'll get out 2 or 3 days after that. But, okay. So I was thinking maybe, they end up screwing Sting. They have Jeff Hardy do it, play on a little bit of history.
Oh, you dumb.
Yeah. So
try and get a rematch.
I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that.
So Bruce says, does this mean the TNT belt is officially the TV title and the heavyweight belt is the one defended on pay-per-view? I mean,
it's always been the case.
I was going to say, if that was the case, that would have like been already established because
it's always been a TV title. It's always been unofficially a TV title.
Yeah, quiet as kept. They don't defend it. Like, they only defended it twice on pay-per-view last year. So, and even the year before that, they didn't rack the defenses up on pay-per-view. So it's kind of, I don't call it a TV title because, I mean, that's not what they call it. They call it the TNT title. So that's what I call it. So,
like, for its purposes, it effectively works like a TV title without them having to commit to having to do it every single week. But like every other week, definitely.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the same case with the TBS.
Actually, no, it's the Ace belt. Let me.
And also like if you notice, like that's also the case for the TBS title. And if you also notice, like the TBS title gets defended a lot more on TNT, or at the time was again defended a lot more on TNT than it was on TBS. But yeah, so the Bayface have to win. If Jeff Hardy's not going to come out here and and give them the advantage with a big surprise, then it's going to have to be baby faces, and I have no problem with it. But I don't think Andrade's had except for the
Matt Sydal match.
I forgot about the Matt Sydal match. But I was going to say except for the Pac match. Like, and quite honestly, like the Pac match is the actual big match. He hasn't had a big win.
Okay.
So I mean, being Matt Sydal's not like that's something that someone that going to be on pay-per-view like every single time and to make a spot for should do. But we'll see how that goes in the future. Like, I think that he can be a TNT champion eventually. Like, he should be in that run or in that mix. But we'll see.
So speaking of TNT title, Sammy defended it against Andrade this week. So I felt like Sammy was wrestling with like this point of like, y'all got to stop trying to give away my TNT title to everyone that's linked to coming to AEW and everything. Is like the constant Twitter conversation. It's just switch the belt for the sake of switching the belt. I'm like, you don't put that much into Sammy, what they've done for him to just like hand that shit off to like whoever walks through the door.
I mean, it's not like he's Darby. Like obviously they're invested in him, but like the level of I think the level of commitment to like Darby and MJF are totally different, or a totally different level than say Jungle Boy and Sammy. And that's not to say like there's something wrong with either one of them. It's just like they're just not as over as those two guys are. And there's still time to get there, but like the way they go about program building with him does not lead me to believe that like they see it in the same way they see it with Darby, at least not yet. So, I think this run will be longer than the first one. It might already be. Am I wrong? I'm mistaken on that. But like, I feel like, if he were to lose a belt before Double or Nothing, I wouldn't be surprised. I would feel like that's appropriate.
Yeah, I would think maybe like around Double or Nothing time or going into that, he could lose it. Like I think that's perfectly fine. But like these people are like just ready to hand the belt off tomorrow. Like I'm like, look, man, like like calm down, pump your brakes.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I'm with you on that one. Like it was shit. I feel like they never even did the switch.
Yeah,
the switch like they did the switch just so they can do the match. It was like just do the fucking match.
Right. So we've got a 3-way tag match for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. It's going to be Jurassic Express, Red Dragon, and To Be Determined. There's going to be a Battle Royal this coming week.
Another one.
Yeah, for the tag teams. But it's going to be a casino Battle Royal this time. So it's going to be one of those group ones. Not everyone started at the same time. So they could bring someone back, I think there's a lot of rumors that maybe Dante or Darius Martin is cleared up. So a lot of people think Top Flight may be in the mix. Of course, the Bucks are out there. And, I would think the Bucks would obviously be the shoe in here, but I think they could always like pull something and be like, yo, what if we just pull the Bucks off this pay-per-view? And then it's like, no, obviously there's no Kenny on this preview for the first time, right?
No Cody, no Kenny.
No Cody, no Kenny.
No Jericho.
Like that. Jericho's on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that with Kingston. Sorry.
So, like, and then, like, you know, I have the Bucks, like, kind of, you know, it kind of gives them something to be pissed about that they, like, got, you know, they didn't make the pay-per-view or something. So I wouldn't put that out. I wouldn't put that out of the realm of possibility of happening.
I don't think that's necessarily crazy considering, like, they may have wrestled, like, twice this year.
Right. Like, you could easily.
How many times have they wrestled this year?
Like, and if you're gonna put Bucks and Red Dragon there, like, save the match for real. In my opinion, I would think like maybe Proud and Powerful can get into this. People like them. People want them to get, you know, some type of shot somewhere, or like, you know, returning like Top Flight or something. Like, I don't know. And then like I think these belts are going to Red Dragon anyway.
This soon?
Yep. Ain't got to play around with it.
I feel like they're ice cold.
Well, they'll have matches on the other side rather than beating everybody on the way to the belts. Beat them after they get the belts.
But do you think they'll have a long reign?
Who knows? I don't like.
I just feel like, I mean, they're ice cold because of them being O'Reilly, you know, on paternity leave or whatever else. But I mean, he showed up and he was going for like. Shit, I don't even know. Felt like 4 or 5 weeks. I don't know. I mean, I like the Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus tag team. I feel like they just won the belts. What in the last they won them this year? They won them like less than 6 weeks ago.
Yeah, they won them the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, they
was that on the first? Was that on the January 5th show? The same show, the first show of the year with the Hangman. Danielson rematch?
Yes.
Yeah, man. Like, I don't know, man. Like, are we just going to get into the habit of like having these short tag title reigns? You know, that's kind of like their number 2 belt in the company. Sorry, Cody.
I don't know. I could see Red Dragon getting it. Like, they did feed them. You know, this is actually a real challenger for them. Mm-hmm. With the. Like, I think the tag belts are out of that, you know, range where you can predict where the belt's going to go. So I think that's kind of actually good because, like, I think the women's belt is kind of still in that Myronette, kind of like what we were talking about, like, off air. But
the second someone wins, you already know who is going to after,
right? Because
of the lack of you're right. I think that if the Young Bucks aren't in it. Then I think like that gives like Jungle Express like a great way to like win the match without beating Red Dragon. Mm-hmm. Like if it's Top Flight, they'll pin one of the Martins. But if it is Young Bucks and Red Dragon probably is winning.
Yeah, because I feel like the belt is going to that feud at some point. Mm-hmm. This year, so whether it happens, like whether Red Dragon needs to win it and, you know, keep going like that, but look out for something there. So next match is one I'm very excited about. Probably be pretty violent. Sound like they're going to bleed a little bit. Bryan Danielson versus Jon Moxley. This is not Daniel Bryan versus Dean Ambrose. This is not a rodeo clown against a flying goat. These guys have put together like a nice, like little nifty 1 month story where it's like, we're still gonna get the match, hell, and we could still get the team, which you know a lot of people still seem to be excited about. So we're kind of like we win either way. So I'm kind of about that.
Yeah. This is my most anticipated match of the pay-per-view. No knock against Adam Cole versus Adam Page, but like Adam Cole's not a threat. They just beat him with Orange Cassidy like 3 weeks ago. So this is the match I'm looking forward to the most. This is a chance for like Moxley to kind of get into a big match program that doesn't involve like, you know, dud explosions and shit, since, since come back for rehab or whatever else. It's been a minute. Like, his matches have kind of been like that mid-card stuff with the New Japan dads. And while it's fun, it's a little different when it's him in a big match and it's like he has to go for it. So, or really go for it.
Was that the Moxley verse? Do I have to start putting together like some type of conspiracy that was going on here?
If you want to call any side quest from a top star water away from the belt, like the fill in the blank verse, and sure, like, but it did fit in with what was going on with the company. Like, they were having competitive, fun matches over and over and over. I don't know what that shit Cody was doing. Cody was out here standing on top of a ladder about to talk about his ladder match, and did pretty much 95% talk about everything else in the world except for Sammy Guevara. So, like, if you want to say those are the same things, go for it. But yeah, I can't wait for this match. This will be one of the best matches in AEW this year, I imagine.
I don't have that kind of ceiling for it, as I don't see Mox as that caliber worker, but
I see Danielson as that kind of worker.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this will be really interesting. I'm really interested in the finish here. Like, is Danielson gonna lean into cheating at all? Is he, is this gonna be a straight pure match? Like, what's the end game on this one? And more importantly, who wins on this one? Because I'm thinking, like, I feel like Mox is gonna win.
Same. If they have their match that was planned originally for pay-per-view, Mox is probably going to win. Obviously, people thought it was going to lead to a heel turn, but Daniels is the one to turn heel. But, like, depending on the outcome of this match, if they end up being in a group together, like, that's a slow burn towards him turning heel eventually. Like,
right. So. And if Tony's the kind of booker where he's going to get back to something, you probably would think Moxley's going to win to do the program with Hangman that they wanted to do.
Right.
And that could easily be your Double or Nothing main event.
Easily.
And that would be something like, even if it was a case where Moxley lost a Hangman down the road, right? That's using the value of being the former champion and then being able to help the next person, which is something I know he's not in the company anymore. This is something that Cody could not do. Like, so that's like, it's a big match. That's
it wasn't that he couldn't do it, is that he didn't do it.
Yeah. Well, we went over it last week. So, like, how I feel about it. It's like, hey, someone decided this, and it sounds like it was him that, he wanted to put a stipulation on himself. So, yeah. But yeah, Moxley and Danielson.
You want to talk about other promotions having stipulations with other guys where they don't want to do jobs and look weak?
Oh my God. Keiji Muto apparently.
Kaz Fujita as well.
Kaz Fujita
and Funaki.
Yeah, all these old guys, these geezers, to say the least, have decided that they ain't losing to none of these young punks like Go Shit, like the
40-year-old Go Shiozaki.
Yes, the 40-year-old Go Shiozaki. The superstar in his prime, Katsuhiko Nakajima, the young punk.
Kaito Kiyomiya.
Yes, Kaito Kiyomiya.
Kino, who's like in his he's in his 30s,
he's like
definitely
37.
Too. Yeah.
So I'm kind of into those guys or whatever, like the younger guys, and then like seeing how there was a report from Voices of Wrestling, Patreon page, $5 level. I would recommend you guys checking it out for the full detail of it, but it came down to like Keiji Muto's hip injury just ruining a bunch of stuff, and apparently one of those things that was ruined was Keiji Muto was going to win the GHC Championship, which is their number 1 title, and then the GHC National Championship, which is their number 2 title, in a unification match, and he was going to beat 50-year-old Kaz Fujita for this belt. So once the hip injury happened, obviously he can't do the match because he has a broken hip. But Fujita, this was like, so what does that mean for me? Like, I'm not I still want to win. I'm not doing no job to Nakajima, and I didn't watch the match or anything yet. I probably don't plan to, but I enjoy Nakajima a lot, and I saw him. This guy with this pot belly, and like he's an old school shooter, and he's pouring beer on himself after he's won the belt, and I'm like, who do these old timers think they are? Like, and I don't know. I guess it's like, they are powerful to an extent over there, because like this company is tucking tail and bowing down before them like the West Side Connection, and it's just like, why? Like, I don't like. And Zach says Nozawa is a mark.
Look, for Muto, sure, I guess. Even though, like, him at this stage of the game, like, hasn't done much for their numbers outside of Budokan Hall, the one from last year, right?
I feel like Keiji Muto's on the that man's on the road to being drafted in the FOH this year.
Let this keep up. Let him come back and win.
Yeah.
But when it's like Kaz Fujita and it's Funaki, and it's like Funaki beat Kino, and I remember looking that up before last week, and I was like, wait, what? Why did he beat Kino? And then, because people have talked about the Muto stuff or whatever else, but I didn't think it extended to the other guys. And then you see Kaz Fujita, like, the way that I saw him beat Nakajima was like, okay, he power bombs him. He has him beat. He lifts him up before the 3 count, and then he kicks him in the fucking head, and then he powerbombs him again, and it's like, yo, and then pins. I was like, yo, are you fucking kidding me? Like
you might as well just shot the man with a gun in the ring.
Fujita may as well have pulled down his pants in the middle of the ring, pulled his dick out, and pissed in his mouth.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Yeah, ruptured Nakajima's eardrum as well in the process.
I believe it's from that kick. That specific kick is what ruptures his eardrum. So it's like injury to insult. And it's like, look, man, like, I understand that Muto's a gigantic star or whatever else, but like, Kaz Fujita was the fucking like IWGP champion, like during the Inokiism shitstorm that almost like lost him the company. Almost closed the door. So like, what options does this dude have to say I'm not going to do no job for this, that, and the third or whatever else? Like, I'll only put over Marufuji, who will then transition the belt to the young guys, because I don't want to put over the young guys. Who the fuck are you? If they fired you and let you go, where can you go? Look what Noah is. Noah's running like Yokohama Radiant Hall. I don't know if you know what that is, but like that is like the same building that Tokyo Joshi Pro runs in Yokohama. That's like fits like maybe 300 people.
Yeah, man.
Not during no. And when I say 300 people, I don't mean like during the pandemic only 300 people. I mean like 300 people. Period. Period.
So
this is where Noah is. You want to do job? Where can you go? Where else can you work? You can do this in New Japan.
I was gonna say, it ain't like New Japan's just gonna be opening the doors wide open for him. Like, hey, come on in.
Come back. No. Go away. Never come back.
Yeah, man. It's like, it's really unfortunate looking at it, because like, I was just, trying to get into Noah this year just to have something else to kind of follow, and that was fresh and kind of the unknown, I would say. And it's the same wrestling as like, as any other wrestling, almost like old dudes.
WWE.
Yeah.
It's WWE.
Yeah. Yep.
It's the main event mafia, more or less.
Yep. Yeah. Zach said there's always Dragon Gate. I might have to go ahead and change allegiances, because they are actually going with young guys.
Dragon Gate is really hard to get into, I heard, because of like their website has like issues as far as trying to follow it. But whatever. I mean, look, go ahead, this great comeback after, because there is a lot like Japanese booking where someone's injured, they come back, they're in a big match, they lose because they're injured and have to build back. He had all these matches like in the last month or so, basically Korakuen after Korakuen after Korakuen, having bangers, and it's like, all right, so now what? Probably lose Funaki, After he already had that fucking match from 2 years ago that was, that 57-minute bullshit that went like 30 minutes of they staring at each other. Like, great. Can't wait to run that back.
Oh, man. Well, one match I am very excited to see, Chris Jericho versus Eddie Kingston. Speaking of 50-year-olds, but Chris Jericho, of course, I've been kind of on a little kick of late, being a long-time Jericho fan. I've, been sitting back watching, Jericho get the blues, put to him, rightfully so, a little bit. And he's come back, very strong with he did a strong promo segment with Eddie Kingston this week, and Kingston was great. He was great. And it was just like, damn, I feel like they're setting up Eddie to like get some momentum here. And I feel like the people want it. Like they want the big win for him, and they want this man to keep going up the mountain like it's a Mortal Kombat thing. Like they want him to keep, just going up one more step up the mountain each time. So I don't know if he's going to get the win, but I think a lot of people are rooting for him. I'm going to predict he gets the win this time. It's crazy. He's been doing these feuds kind of like, like where CM Punk is insulting him big time. Now Jericho's insulting him big time.
When I first saw you, I thought you looked like a jobber.
Yes. So, but through it all, like Kingston was like, "Yo, I don't want, I don't want the bullshit, Jericho. I want, the dude that my mentor Tenryu gave respect to in war. Like, bro, I love that shit they were bringing up. Like, I'm extremely excited for this match."
Yeah, I really enjoyed their promo a lot more than any other promo on the show from last week. But I think Kingston. I think I'm with you. Like I'm predicting Kingston to win. Like Jericho did one of his like classic go-tos where it's like, or in AEW at least, where he's like, you know what? Like when they signed you, when you first got here, I didn't believe it. I thought it was bullshit. Like same thing he did with Orange Cash where he eventually put him over. So it's like, I think that's kind of his tell, when it's time for him to put somebody over. That's not like, wasn't an instant main event type star in AEW. So yeah, I think, that's what they're going to end up doing. I'm wondering how this match is going to go. Cause like, if Paymaker comes out and he just brawls and is, gets by on charisma, this match could be great. If he wants to try to have like a scientific wrestling match with Eddie Kingston, that's going to be it won't be the shits, but like it won't be really good. That's for sure.
James, are you betting against Chris Jericho?
I'm saying if he brawls, it will be great. If he doesn't, it probably won't. That's all I'm saying. He should play to his strengths, especially with his opponent.
I gotta check, man, because I'm on edge about Jericho right now. So
he's been zooming on me. He's been zooming on me. He's been zooming on me with like there's a 50% chance he's gonna be wrong as hell too.
You do the zoom when you're right. That's when you do. That's the dirty secret of the zoom. So,
playing the result.
Got to make sure the gimmick stays strong, brother. Like Fujita, like Keiji Muto. Can't show no weakness. But yeah, I'm gonna.
How come Sakuraba don't get this kind of treatment? Is it because he's out here doing holes in the rash guard?
That man probably don't care. He be like, I'll fuck all y'all up. Like, this is work.
Bruh.
Y'all think it's a shoot.
You watched his match in at Budokan Hall from 1-1, right?
No.
Oh,
actually, yeah, I watched the whole show. Yeah.
Oh my god, he's fucking hilarious. Like he's like the drunken submission master. Like he comes out there and does all this goofy submission. Like he don't take no bumps, no hard bumps. He just out there just doing holds. Like he worked like. It's gonna be funny, like when it's 20 years from now, and Zack Sabre Jr. still wrestling at the same level he's wrestling at now. God. He's like, this is a blueprint right there. Like he'll just move on to doing like comedy as opposed to being like a real guy. That's exactly what's gonna happen. Watch.
So up next, we've got the Face of the Revolution ladder match for a future TNT Championship match. We have Keith Lee Wardlow, Powerhouse Hobbs, Absolute Ricky Starks, Orange Cassidy, and a to be determined. So, yeah, man, this is going to be interesting. I don't think there's an obvious flyer in this match at the moment, but there are a lot of big guys. There's Starks, who's crafty, and then Orange Cassidy, who's a meme. And, you know, the TBD, I don't know if they fill that in, you know, this coming week. I don't know if it's a surprise, but if it's a surprise, I have some ideas based on, you know, some reporting and different things. But I think this is going to be a match to watch, because there's a lot of ways you can go. You got Wardlow there with the whole MJF thing. You got Keith Lee, who you want to, you know, take care of, you know, in his first like real pay-per-view appearance. Orange Cassidy's a big star, but I don't think he's set to, you know, go after the TNT belt or anything. This is Hobbs' first like real look on pay-per-views. Him and Starks are there together, so like could something be going on with those guys? And then, you know, there's possibly a surprise person. So, man, hopefully this is good.
There could be some weird allegiance thing with Team Taz, but I think I'll end up going with Wardlow to get the win. I think it's going to come down to Wardlow and like Hobbs, and he ends up throwing Hobbs off and ends up winning at the end of it. And then you pull the trigger on the whatever is going on between, or what we think is going to happen eventually between him and MJF, because, you know, they did tell you like about a month ago, like, if he wins a title, he has to hand that shit over to MJF, and you already know how that's gonna go when the $1 million man tries to get the belt. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna be allowed. It's gonna be thrown out, or no one's gonna just relinquish the belt like that, and then we're off to the races after that. So, I don't know how much longer they can hold this off. It has to happen. It has to happen like soon.
Yeah, like maybe, I don't know. I feel like you can't do it until MJF's the world champion or something. Like I don't know, but I'm gonna go with Keith Lee. So you know, yeah, I'll go with Keith Lee. I won't say anything else. So we've got a singles match for the Women's World Championship. Dr. Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa, the rematch from the unsanctioned match of last year. Had won a couple Match of the Year awards and some publications, and had, you know, that great match, pretty much like, you know, your best women's match in AEW history, I would say. And this is a big rematch, and I would say the dynamics are actually like where you want them. I don't think Britt is nearly as overpowering to baby faces as she once was. I think the unit has kind of done its job as far as like making people want to see her lose, because this was not always the case. I feel like it's, you know, like we've reached a point in Britt's title reign where we have a real challenger now. And I was talking with James earlier about it, and like I was saying earlier on the show, like, the young history of some of the AEW championships have kind of like they've been obviously where the next like belt or where the title path is going, right? And I think the women's title will move out of that once Thunder Rosa gets the championship. The tag team title is out of that. I would say maybe even the world title is still in it, because obviously MJF's still circling. But after MJF, I think that's when it clears up. Like as far as like, hey, anybody might be able to win this shit. So, or like you can't just predict, you know, like who are they keeping them away from for months and months and months. Like I felt like I knew this booking 9 months ago. So this wasn't like, this was always going to be the destination. So if they, you know, didn't if Britt won, then I would really be thrown off the set. I'd be like, all right, what's happening? But I don't anticipate that happening. They have been developing this storyline pretty much since the TBS tournament, and it's all kind of played up into, you know, this past week. You know, she went through Mercedes Martinez. As far as Thunder Rosa, there may be some type of tag match, you know, that's happening. But yeah, it's time. I think it's time. Thunder's time.
I think it's time too, but at the same time, I'm not exactly sure if she wins or not. Because Britt's still the biggest star in that that division by a lot. So I mean, you could still ride it further, but it just feels like narratively, like there's nothing left for her to do after this. Aside from, figure something out away from the belt. But, it could be time. It could be. It could be. It probably should be. So, but we'll see. Because, promoters like money.
Yeah. I think they're gonna swap the belt here. I think they're gonna go with Thunder, and then they've been heating up. Like usually a tell, how you can tell
Serena.
Something. Bingo. Like Serena's been getting heated up. Like she's ready to step in immediately. Like after, Thunder wins the belt to be the first challenger. They can have Britt's group kind of explode, and that'll give her something to do. So that I'm picking Thunder Rosa. I don't think they win a match of the year in PWI this time. But who knows?
I have nothing to add. I'm just laughing.
So up next, CM Punk versus MJF in a dog collar match. And my God, this feud has been great with, like Tony the Tiger. So this was like my favorite promo from last week, what MJF did. I thought this was just all-time work. This was MJF putting the level of depth behind, the exterior of MJF that everyone saw. And I thought it was so effective from the standpoint of he really acted it out, and it felt old school in a way. It felt like it was, obviously, you sympathize with the heel. I think people are boiling that down, but it was also the angle of yo, CM Punk, you're responsible for this shit, for this guy. And I was gripped by the delivery, by the execution, by the realness of it. And it was it felt like this guy was literally showing, basically showing everyone why, this is not just a cute shtick of me being quick-witted and fast and, a cheap heat master. This was I'm going to be a huge babyface one day. And I'm I was fascinated by this promo. It captured me on every level.
I don't know if it's because I'm just over this feud after the 40-minute match, or if it's because I don't trust MJF to be a sincere, reliable narrator for the story. But it didn't work for me. I was just waiting for MJF to screw over or beat up CM Punk the whole time during that promo last week. Because it's he's been a dick and insincere in every single moment and backstabbed every friend he's ever had in the promotion. Now, because he realized he's about to be chained to another person, now he wants to start crying about it. I don't care. It just didn't work for me. I thought it was well done, but at the same time, I'm all right, get to the part where when dumbass CM Punk walks out and goes, "Is it real?" And then he wants to hug him and he low blows him or some shit like that. I thought the whole time he was going to be "You fucking dummy, CM Punk, you fell for this." And there's still time for this. I just hope they don't go super melodramatic where he has a match won and then he hesitates because he feels for what he got was laid on him this week, and then he gets low blowed or whatever else, and then he ends up losing this match because I'm gonna be "You fucking idiot." But yeah, I just I don't really have much for the depth of evil people. I just don't I don't care. Great, something bad happened to you, became a Nazi. Great. I'm not saying MJF is a Nazi, but you get my point. You're evil. Don't care.
Quite the opposite, actually.
Well, yeah, in this case, yeah. In this case, why did he turn to Magneto? Because the people were being anti-Semitic? Oh, okay. I understand that. I read that comic book.
This man was getting a standing ovation. I think the reason why it was so effective was because, he obviously couldn't talk. He
clearly
last
came up with
week.
something. This clearly was out of his, or not out of his wheelhouse, but like this clearly was something that was like a lot of people were not expecting. Clearly,
like when CM Punk pulled out that picture last week, and then he was like speechless. I think that set the tone for what this week was. Like this week was the reason he couldn't talk last week. He had to kind of marinate on that shit. Like and really like, you know, people talk about you know, the great promo guys in wrestling. Like I think MJF like proved why he won the Observer Award last week with that promo, and it was just you know, like you said, there's still time for it to, you know. One thing with CM Punk, he kind of recycles a lot of his best stuff, right? So like he had the thing where when he was in ROH, he was like, you know, at the end of the day, I'm still a snake. And, you know, MJF, you know, at the end of the day, he still will be a snake. I'm picking MJF to win again here. And I feel like this one is going to get very violent and physical. And I don't think these two are necessarily the most violent wrestlers or anything, but they're going to be beating the shit out of each other with that chain.
Well, regardless,
among other things,
it'll definitely be bleeding. So there's that. Yeah, I'm just over it after the 40-minute match. I got nothing left for you. Like you had the match. It in my opinion, it went too long. I feel like a lot of it was also, I don't want to say confusion, but I felt like a lot of the heat was taken off it with the MJ or the Wardlow thing, and like, are you ever going to pull the press the button on making all that work out, or is it now still focusing on now your second, more or less your third match now? So yeah, for me, I was way more into this before they did the TV match. Way more into it. But, you know, and, you know, I'm not also like, maybe if they were having another match other than like a match where like, oh, they're definitely going to bleed all over the place. I don't care about blood in AEW anymore. I'm over it. Like, it's, in fact, like, it makes me like, what do you say, pull back and like, instead of like, get into it, at this point. But, I don't know, man. Where do you think this match places? Like, do you think it's gonna be like some main event, or where do you think it's gonna go? Do you think it can't open? But
I think it's gonna be right in the middle of the show.
The middle of the show.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, Danny. No, it should not main event. I'm not putting this over the world title
because it won't be a better match.
Right, world title's gonna be like, you know, up there. Yeah, I'm not taking the main event away from Hangman, especially when he's been nothing but phenomenal.
Yeah, he's been great, and he has a great like main event opponent to do it with. So, I think they're going to not tear the house down because they're the main event, but like I feel like they're going to have a killer match.
Adam Page versus Adam Cole, singles match for the AEW World Title. This should be excellent. I think this is going to be, you know, they're going to ask Adam Cole to have a great match, and I think he's going to step up to the plate. I think Hangman's on fire still. I don't think he's losing the championship here. There's, you know, Red Dragon could come into play here. It could be, you know, interplay from the Bucks. You never know. Yep. But I feel like this is going to be classic, like, hey, go out there and kill this shit, have a match to your candidate. And that's what I'm expecting.
I was stopped short of saying a match of the year candidate. Like, Page isn't in there with Omega or Danielson, and Cole isn't in there with Gargano. But it's going to be a great match. So either way, how great, that's what debate, but like, it's definitely be great. And you know, I think that like it could be the best match of the night. Like, the only other one that I think could top it possibly be, depending on what happens with their opponents for the not trios, but the 3-way tag match, or Moxley Danielson, or you know, maybe even the ladder match goes nuts. But I doubt that, given the amount of big bodies out there. But I mean, either way, like, it's a very strong card. I don't think it's as strong as the last two pay-per-views on paper, but as far as a match quality wise, but I think that this is it'll be another great AEW pay-per-view regardless.
Yeah, first AEW pay-per-view that Kenny Omega is missing. So he
Cody too.
No, Cody's missed tons of pay-per-views.
Oh yeah, because he keeps going, leaving, and coming back. He wasn't there for All Out, right?
Nope.
Yeah.
You know, so like,
so should we expect like one of the greatest pay-per-views of all time?
I mean, he could, but you know, we'll see. So I'm sure there'll be some type of some debuts, some shock stuff. I'm sure there's some stuff that isn't planned, or that is not advertised that is going to happen. So yeah, so I'm very excited about the show. Can't wait to be there. We'll be there in person. Got tickets. You know, we'll be performing. You know, in the with the music concert, whatever. I'm gonna be, you know, jumping on stage and doing a verse and stuff like that. That's gonna be fun, and can't wait. So, up next, did you have any other thoughts on the pay-per-view, James?
No. This will be my first AEW show that I'll be in attendance for. This is like the first like thing I've done outside of like since the pandemic involving like multiple people. That doesn't involve like going to a grocery store or something, you know, of that ilk of being mandatory. Like this is my first like recreational thing since the pandemic. I'll take that back. I was at Zach's wedding. I forgot about that, and I wore a mask the whole time. I didn't take my mask off, take a drink of water or nothing. And I might do the same thing for 4 hours for All Out. We'll see how that goes. So, yeah, but that's all I got.
Yeah, man. I definitely so WWE2K22 is in the news. So, you know, and we're getting closer to the release date, and those ratings just dropped. So you guys know what time it is. As tradition goes on One Nation Radio, we love to talk about the ratings for the wrestlers because the ratings are goofy typically, like with how they do them as compared to how 2K does them. And then we also kind of get a peek into what they think of particular people. And then, of course, they fuck up all their all-time ratings, and you know, they're putting them in conjunction with their modern people, and just tons of shit don't make sense. And we don't have the DLC characters or anything, but we pretty much have the whole roster. There's a ton of people that I believe there are over 30 people that are no longer with WWE that are in the game still. It's tremendously out of date at this point, and it's not out of date from just a firing standpoint. It's out of date from why are people from Retribution in their Retribution gimmicks? And that shit hasn't been around in how long? I don't know. But I guess we can start at the very beginning, James. I'm going to send you the list that I'm looking at so you can have that as well. So we're going to start right at the very top. It's going to be AJ Styles. AJ Styles is a 91 overall. Other people
at this point that sounds kind of go ahead, sorry.
I was gonna say, like, there's a it's interesting when you start looking at other people that they have him around and better than. It's like, hold on, what? What, too high, too low, or just right?
Who's the top rated guy in the company or in the promotion for
Roman Reigns
at 90 what?
95.
I guess that sounds about right. That might at this point, the way they present him, it might be too high at this point.
I think it's too high based on how they present him right now.
But then again, like, you got to do the cutoff dates of like when it was when, like, you know, before. So if it's like it has 30 people they haven't fired, so it's like these rosters are from like the middle of last year, or maybe like the first, or maybe like spring of last year, right? So by that point in time, he was tagging with Omos, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it probably is too high.
Still,
but then again, it's like it's AJ Styles. Yeah, I'm doing some dumb shit, but we're not going to play like he's not AJ Styles. Maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe. And then again, like, you know, it's a Twitch guy, so it's like we're not finna hold you to your rating because we know you really care about this. You know, you don't want to have him out there like, you know, like Natalya over the $15 list.
Yeah, Natalya I think she's actually gonna be happy with her rating. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe. this is a whole thing. But so I'll skip anyone that I don't really think matters. Alexa Bliss is at 84.
What's the highest rated woman?
I believe it's Becky Lynch at 92. I believe. Yeah, Becky Lynch has a higher rating than AJ Styles.
No, not that. Okay, the women can't wrestle each other in the video game, or there's no intergender wrestling in the video game. Why the fuck isn't like the highest rated woman not as highly rated as the highest rated man? That makes no sense.
That's that's the
like
hierarchy.
It's built to just like misogyny and sexism just built right it baked directly into the CPU. It built right into the fabric of the game, right? Right.
Yeah, it's I have a major problem with how they do the ratings anyway, because like they could make somebody a 98 or like a 97 or a 99, right. And then it's like they're all-time people. Like, bro, they have Shawn Michaels at an 88 overall.
What?
Exactly. And it's like, hold on, man. Like, no, that's not how this works. Like, that is like, they should be like the rating stuff is like, yo, Shawn Michaels should be like a 97 or 98 overall, like all time. Like, what the fuck what is happening here?
He should definitely be no lower than like a 96. Hey, because I don't know when WWE, like how it works. So this is 2K23, right?
22.
22 is coming out during the year 22?
Yeah, they pushed it back like an additional 6 months.
And they didn't decide to just rename it 23?
Nope. So they're probably thrown off for forever now.
Okay, whatever. All right. Like, whatever. All right, so where do you want to go next?
Andre the Giant, 88.
No, you're at Alexa Bliss. You're at Alexa Bliss, right? So
Alexa Bliss is 84.
84. I mean,
sure.
What does the Fiend? What do the Fiend powers give her as far as rating? Does that boost her?
No idea, man.
No. All right. I guess that's appropriate. I don't know.
Andre the Giant, 88. I feel like for the myth that this man was built up as to beat at WrestleMania 3, how in the fuck is he an 88 overall?
Are they doing the thing where they we always say that they should do, but like there's no way to quantify it, which is like as time goes by, the athletes get better, therefore
it's got to be the only thing.
Like this, this was like fight night back in the day. Like they had Muhammad Ali at like an 81 or something.
Yeah, bro. Like normally, like Muhammad Ali would be like a 99 or some shit.
Joe Frazier, they have it'll disrespect shit out of Joe Frazier. Yeah. Muhammad Ali's a 99. What was Joe Frazier in 84?
Like what the fuck? Disrespect. So Angelo Dawkins is an 80. I think that's a tad bit too low. I think he should be up a little bit higher.
For an ace tag teamer? Yeah, he should be in like the mid 80s.
Asuka is a 90 overall.
Okay.
I mean, how will we know that she doesn't get booked anymore? But
she's out with injury right now.
She's been cleared forever.
I thought she was out with injury.
She's been ready since the Royal Rumble. Austin Theory is an 80. I don't have a problem with that. He's getting a bunch of TV time, but he's pretty much a rookie on the in their terms. Batista.
He's the only young person on the roster, on the main roster.
Yeah.
But aside from the Lotharios, that's it. But you see where they got them doing.
Yep.
Nathan.
Batista, 88 also. Same rating as Andre the Giant and Shawn Michaels.
That's odd. Is that just the default legend booker or legend number?
If it was me, I would give Batista 94.
That sounds about right. Like a 90, somewhere in the mid 90s. If they were doing this right anyway.
All right, Bailey is an 88. Too high, too low, or just right.
I mean,
this is a woman that carried the industry, some say. So I don't know. I feel like it's a little low in that case.
Do you remember what she did at WrestleMania? What was it, WrestleMania 37?
She got hoed by the Bellas.
Right.
Yeah.
like for this person that carried the industry, like she was fucking hosting like a geek. Like they gave her that 2017 New Day treatment. Like yeah, you let them host. Like when it's time for a big tag match, we'll have the Hardys come out instead of let them wrestle. I guess that's about right. Like, you know, that 88, that puts her in the upper echelon of the women's division, apparently, seeing the number one women's 90 fucking 2. So yeah.
Yeah, and that's Becky Lynch, 92. I guess, sure. I maybe she's too high based on like what I think of her current work. Like I think she maybe could be a little lower, but this isn't about me. Beth Phoenix is an 87, and also Bianca Belair is an 87. I feel like Bianca's a little underrated.
You know I'm about to ask, right?
What?
Did this rain right that she got squashed by Becky, bitch? Like, no. Fuck that 90. Fuck that 90.
Pull that shit down.
Pull that shit down. Come back. Bring it back. So, you don't give out there low. Yeah, you said 88?
87.
87? Yeah, that's a bit too low for her. But you know, the way they fucked with her last year, I can see why they, you know, there's mixed messages. So,
well, somebody else who's also an 87 has a pretty interesting rating is Big E.
That is very low for a WWE champion.
It is telling. It's almost like he wasn't the champion at all.
It's almost as if like that was a tag guy, an H-tag guy.
Yeah. Some other people that are also in the. I'm going to quickly scan the list. Other people that are in the 87 range. Jerry the King Lawler is an 86.
Wow. Is Brett in the game?
Brett is in the game. I don't think I got to him yet. Well,
I just asked. I wasn't. You know,
Booker T is an 88. Bobby Lashley, a 91. I feel like that is actually a good rating for him.
That's about right. Like I would gripe maybe like 1 or 2 points.
Yeah. So we've got Braun Strowman, who's fired from WWE. He's a 90. They fired someone that was a 90, James. 90.
Nice, controlling narratives.
Yeah, man. Make sure y'all go to the rant room. Them
boys are. Look, man. I know it's a scam because I see that like it's these white men and they're selling seasoning.
Yes, that's not something you think they would have experience with.
Look, man. I trust my ethnic whites with seasoning. That's it. American whites? Nah. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Is any of Strowman Southern?
Yeah.
So I'll trust him with some barbecue. I trust him with some barbecue. Anything else? Anything involving like a oven or a skillet? Nah. No, I trust him with the open flame or some gas. That's about it.
Bret Hart, 91 overall. Incredibly low. Yeah, this should be a 97.
Yeah.
At least.
Like new generation getting hoed.
Yeah. Brock Lesnar, 94. I feel like this is way too low.
What are we doing?
Like, if you look how he's been presented throughout WWE history, this is a 99 overall. Right. What is this?
What are we? This man beat Hogan. This man beat Rock. This man beat Triple H.
Goldberg.
Goldberg. If he's not in the high 90s, who the fuck could be? Yeah. Why are we doing this?
This whole thing is broken because of Brock Lesnar. Like, look at it. Like he just has to be under Roman Reigns, and then of course Roman Reigns is like the greatest wrestler of all time, so he's 95. But
think about that though. The greatest wrestler ever, 95 out of 100. What?
Right.
Goofiness.
Candice LeRae is a 77. 2 behind Carmella. That's funny.
Yikes.
That's the NXT rating. Cesaro, no longer with the company. I guess it's a good time to bring that up. Cesaro. So his deal was coming up, much like Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and AJ Styles. They all three got big raises, not to go nowhere. Cesaro walked in looking for his big raise, and there was not one waiting for him, apparently. And he was like, you know what? Fuck this, especially after this year extension that he signed, and he can appear immediately anywhere else. So he is gone from WWE. What do you make of this, James?
Another person they missed the wave with, like, multiple times. There's a super talented guy. There's a person that, the Adam Cole joke. You know what they do to make me special? They ring the freaking bell. He was absolutely one of those people that, like, he's one of the few, but he's one of those people that, like, the bell rings, you let them have their match, they'll get over with the crowd. It doesn't matter what kind of crowd it is, doesn't matter where it is. He's so sensational and so strong and so gifted athletically and as a worker that he can get his match over and himself over just by ringing the bell. And they took it for granted. He had some moments in WWE, he absolutely did, but, like, were they ever anything to follow through in a way that we see, like, some of the pillars in AEW? Absolutely not. I think the closest thing he ever got was WrestleMania 30 when he throws out Big Show, and then the next day he becomes Paul Heyman guy. But Paul Heyman guy thing was just a vehicle to get Heyman on TV until Brock showed back up.
And all he did was spend the entire time talking about Brock. So it got all fucked up. And that month before that WrestleMania, he was in the Elimination Chamber getting a title shot. He had pinned Randy Orton. He really had a lot of momentum at a couple of different times.
Right.
Had to run the tag team.
He had Jack Swagger's music. And that shit went hard.
Yep. That shit would have, like, it was all right there. But, he's a guy. He ended up having the bar with Sheamus. It's a pretty underrated team for the era. I think.
He's an all-time WWE tag teamer.
Yeah,
like, you put
also had a team
multiple different tag teams, and he made it work every single time. Tyson Kidd, the bar. I'm trying to think who else was he in a tag team with, but he was in like 3 or 4 of them. It felt like.
Yeah. And, I really can't get it. Like, I think the only real issue is, like, it took him that long to even get, like, some type of real pay-per-view title match. Mm-hmm. And also, like, they never, in a company where everyone touches the fucking belt, the expectations are set, and he never sniffed it. Which is, like, the thing where people were like, hey, they misused Cesaro. And I'm like, does Cesaro need to be my world champion? Not necessarily like in a well-booked promotion, but, like, he's always there, like, to be a babyface, a heel, either way, like, that bring people up the card. Like, you saw when he went and wrestled Ilya Dragunov. You saw when he wrestled Sami Zayn in NXT. Like, you would think someone could, like, figure out, I don't know. Like, you would think someone could figure out and get more out of him than, like
that dude.
I just think they didn't get enough out of him.
Like, that dude should have been, like, on one of these brands at some point. He should have been given the ball to be, like, a number 3 heel somewhere, or a number 2 babyface, or a gatekeeper for a division. But it never happened. Like, he had these roles and they worked out. But, like, he was always overqualified for the role he had at the time, and it was like, you wish that he would ever get a shot to be, pushed to the level of his competency. And there are guys that have had that, like AJ Styles got pushed to the level of his competency. Seth Rollins has. Sheamus, when he's had his ups and his downs and came back around with it, like, he has, like, there's been a bunch of people, Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley, the New Day, all in a roundabout way, all kind of got their due, as tag teams and as singles, the Usos and other thing. Like, there's been a bunch of people that, like, have gotten their shot to level their competency. He never really got that. And obviously, there is something to be said to where, like, there are a lot of people that are good enough to be the WWE world champion or top champion, but, like, it means so much more if a few of them don't make it. I'm not necessarily sure if he should have been a top champion in WWE, but I damn sure would have had him in more than one program to try to figure this out or not, because he's that kind of talent. And look, I mean,
it's like it was
Roman's
just decided.
Roman's hottest part of his year of last year was when he was in there with Daniel Bryan and with Cesaro. Once he stopped being in the ring with those guys, what happened?
Yeah, I think it was just the problem was it was just decided it was not for him.
Yep.
Way before that, or excuse me, they did it during like his youth, and then like at the very end on his way out, he kind of got one mercy shot at the title. Yeah,
like he gets his one big match win against Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, and like that's cool.
But like, I'm not going crazy over it taking you 10 years to win a mid-card match on day 2 of WrestleMania.
Right.
So like, imagine if it was one big WrestleMania, you might not have made the show.
Right. And like, he's somebody that's like, okay, so he's in there with Seth. He's finally getting a big match with Seth, or not big match with Seth, but he's finally getting a big match at WrestleMania. Like, this is Seth's like 10th or some shit like that. And it's like, I remember when him and Cesaro and like Ryback and like Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns are all giving Daniel Bryan hell in 2013/14 while he's trying to fight back to the title, and like they're tearing down the house. And it's like, look what ended up happening with Ambrose, what happening with Seth, and then like that guy, like he did as well as those two did with Daniel Bryan, but like he couldn't make it for some reason. That's kind of odd to me.
Yeah, and I think, the elephant in the room would be, his verbal ability there. But I feel I feel like, someone like Jinder Mahal, got a chance to be the fucking champion for 6 months. And then, like, you have this guy who speaks 5 languages and you just can't figure it out for him. So it's like, it's maddening, it's frustrating. And it's like, I think there's a lot of grandstanding from, people that don't want to hear anything about how Cesaro was misused or anything, that are just like, just saying this guy had one of the best WWE runs ever. And it's like, no, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
Compared to what? Like what? Top 20, top 50, top 100? Like what's the number on this thing? Like, I feel like people have to really look themselves, or when they're putting out things like that, they need to look at it and be like, did WWE, it's a simple question, did they get the most out of this person they could have gotten? The answer is no.
Compared to what they had on the roster at the time, and the roles that would be filled on the roster. And the answer for most of it was no. Like, they figured best for him to be a ace tagger. And there was more for him than that. Not to say that's a bad spot. He made a lot of money. He was I wouldn't say it's a failure. I would say that it's a borderline success, or it's a push, whatever you want to call it. But that dude was one of the best workers I've ever seen. / is one of the best workers I've ever seen. I think that if he's one of the best workers I've ever seen, he could do a little bit better in the wrestling, in the number one wrestling promotion in the world. Especially when he's 6'4" or 5. Yeah. Like, he get in the ring with, you get, they say the measure stick is if you get in the ring with John Cena or a Randy Orton. Well, he sees eye to eye with Randy Orton. At times for most of the time, he had a better physique than Randy Orton too.
Hey, I would be tempted to pull up the match logs for both of those gentlemen too over the this last decade, and you tell me who
has more like 7.5s and higher. Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. Don't even want to get into that, but yeah, excited about where he could be next. He could be anywhere. Could be. I don't think he's gonna go to New Japan because no one can get into actual Japan yet. So that leaves one real place. Like, I don't think he's going to go, slum it on the European Indies or something. So, that sounds
bleak.
Right. I feel like he's made to throw around the pillars and then have great matches with them.
You liked what I suggested to Chad the other day, didn't you?
Run it back.
Chad was like, if there's a role for him, like, what would it be? And my suggestion was basically have him go out there and kick all of the pillars and killers' asses.
and then lose.
Yeah, at the end of all of it, but like have him come out there and like it's like with no Cody and no Miro right now, there needs to be someone to bully around these middleweights. Man, let it be him.
Yeah, like I think we were coming up with spots, and I would love to see a coffin drop into the "you going to jail now" uppercut. So, but yeah. Cesaro is in the game. He's 84 overall.
You know why you can? This is the last time we finna see him outside of some what do you call it?
2K showcase mode or something.
What's the shit called when you create them? A call?
Oh, a call.
Yeah.
Yep. Enjoy them. Enjoy the moveset. Enjoy the uppercut. Charlotte Flair, 90. Same as Asuka.
That you don't think that's odd?
Seeing as how they continually had Charlotte go over her entire career, I feel like that is odd. I feel like Charlotte should be above her.
Right. Like, at least I figured it should be like the highest rated warrior tied.
China, 87. Okay.
I mean, she can outwork the Horsewoman, but she was a bigger star than Charlotte, I believe.
I guess Charlotte gotta. Well, they don't do that anymore in Playboy, so never mind. Damian Priest is an 84 overall. He's the U.S. champion. He got pushed for a lot of the year. Kind of is this not losing and stuff like that. I feel like he's a tad bit low.
I really don't know what to make of this one because, like, I know that he was protected, but I don't know if he was pushed.
Right.
Like, was it like the Aleister Black thing his first year in the company or the main roster? Or it's like, we won't beat him, but like, we're also not going to showcase him or push him.
I think it was a case of them not realizing they didn't beat him. One of those.
Like there's some nerd in the back that's like, Sir, Mr. McMahon, we haven't beaten him yet. We can still beat him. There's time to beat him. Oh, God, we haven't beaten him? God damn, what are we doing? Do it now. Beat him now. It's so weird. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. It does seem low for a U.S. champion.
The Demon, 90. See, I just want to know, like, when you fight the Demon.
Hold on. Are we talking about Finn Balor or are we talking about Kane? I don't know.
Oh, we were talking about Finn Balor.
Okay.
The Demon.
Okay.
Yes, he's stupid.
No, I'm dead serious. I know which one you mean, like Demon Kane or
I just want to know.
King.
I just want to know if you fight the Demon, like, is there a secret way to put him away that causes like the top rope to snap, and then like he just completely loses all ability?
I'm assuming that's like a special code you got to throw in.
Yeah, I guess the Demon's a 90, sure. Dolph Ziggler has dropped to a 82. Man, he seems to be on the downside.
He's in NXT now, man.
Dominic Mysterio, 79. Also a 79, James. Drew Gulak. James, 79 is way too high for Dominic Mysterio. I'm not just going to say push. This is way too high for Dominic Mysterio. And Dom Mysterio has been skating way, way too long through the FOH draft, through different award seasons, him just skating by, you know.
Are you? Here's my question. Have you been watching these Dominic Mysterio matches, or have you just been hearing bad reports?
No. I haven't watched shit since like the last time I saw him, and then I just see his face, and I'm just like, he sucks.
So is this? Care. So what is basing the part where you think he's like horrendous? Is it just like reports from like Voice of Wrestling saying he's awful?
No, like the matches that I've seen him on some of these big shows, I just think he's
what
terrible.
Big shows he ever on? I think the only big show I remember on was like he had some match with Seth Rollins where I thought he did pretty good, but that was like one of his first matches.
I think it was in the last year.
And look, I'm not defending. If he sucks, he sucks. And quite frankly, I don't care. Like, whatever.
Yeah, I think it was in the last year. And it was like, what the fuck is going on here? I think he was doing like 6-man tags with like with Cena and Ray, and then he was in there, and it was just like, what is this Make-A-Wish shit, man? Like, yeah. So yeah, like Dylan said, he needs the NBA 2K 60 overall. Yes, that man needs a brown shirt. So.
Oh wow! I'm looking at this. He has a 5. He's 5.5 on Cage Match. Yikes!
See?
Oh man, this is not good. This is suboptimal. Like this. Look, man. I know people make these jokes about. I think Miz made the joke about Eddie and Ray and paternity when it came to Dominic recently. I gotta tell you, something tells me he's neither one of they damn kids. Cause 5.5, are you Rey Mysterio or Eddie Guerrero's son? That don't make no goddamn sense.
No,
bruh.
Black Sabre Jr. says Dom Mysterio is a 55 overall, no badges.
I mean, if this man, look, you know what? I'm not going to get mad at him because, to be honest with you, it's because of his dad. If his dad wasn't his dad, he wouldn't even be in the league right now. Do you know what this is? This is the proto Bronny James. Like, this man gonna end up little Bronny gonna end up in the league, bro. Bronny is like ranked like 30th in his high school class as a junior. You know what that means? That is not someone going to the league.
Right. They're gonna try to wheel this man in here like. It's gonna be like struggle. So
when that man's in the G League or whatever else, like as an undrafted or probably as a second rounder or whatever else, and LeBron's playing for the fucking Charlotte Hornets. we ain't got no one to blame except for LeBron because LeBron.
I will be having a great laugh,
man. You went out there to play with Jordan Wood drafting the second round just to do that shit. He was like, yeah, come play here, and then like you never even play out because we're inept as a franchise. Jordan Wood do that, like close it, shut the door. Jordan shut the door on that nigga's career.
That man could also show up to like Lake Erie or something like LeBron God. Like play a G League game with him and then retire.
Could you imagine?
Bro,
LeBron's last NBA game is not an NBA game, but it's a G League game because his son trash. Think about it. That's what's happening with like the tail end of Rey Mysterio's prime right now. He's out here wasting away trying to carry his sorry ass son.
Yo.
I went into this trying to defend this man. I did look at Cage Match and was like, nah, ain't nothing to defend. This is bullshit. Man. I want to see Ray unleashed.
This is the curse of David Flair coming to back to strike.
Man. Oh, man.
This is bad. So, TK with division. We are not taking him too. No.
Hey, man. Look, it's great that everybody wants to follow their dreams, but like your dreams ain't more important than what I want to watch. And I want to see Rey Mysterio. If I want to see Rey Mysterio, it'll be great again. I don't want to see him mired into the bullshit with his tripod ass son. Pack that shit up.
Eddie Guerrero, 90 overall.
I mean, that sounds about right.
I'm going to give Eddie Guerrero a 92 overall.
Okay.
Edge is a 91.
Sounds about right. Maybe if you want to say bump up to 93-ish at his peak. Okay, I can see that.
Yeah. This is funny. They gave Eric Bischoff a 69. He's the lowest rated person in the game.
Is that a rib?
It's got to be a rib.
What's Mystery Man on there?
76. I don't know how that works when Eric Bischoff holds a victory over Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon lost via countout to Eric Bischoff.
Forget that part. What about like Vince is a muscle guy. Like, what about Karate Man Bischoff? What about
Correct.
No Flex Zone Eric Bischoff staring dead into the camera? Hey.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Like, whatever, man. Whatever. Bischoff. This is a goofball.
Check this one out. They gave Farouk an 88 overall. When the fuck would Farouk have ever been booked like an 88 overall?
Maybe
he has the same rating
like
as
97.
He has the same rating as Shawn Michaels, James, and Andre the Giant, and the Macho Man Randy Savage.
Oh, well, I'm not accounting for the fact that they're doing that nonsense, but I meant like in a normal thing where like the top person would be like a 99. Right? Like I could see him being like a 90 topping out, especially like peak Nation Domination, right before The Rock like broke that shit up from the inside out with his narcissism.
Yeah. Finn Balor, the regular Finn Balor, 87 overall.
So he went from 90 to 87?
Yeah.
So 3 hours in the chair getting painted on, and then like all the supernatural effects were 3.
Yeah,
3.
Yeah, you get a point for each hour in the chair. Goldberg, an 88 overall also.
That's nonsense. You mean to tell me right now that if they did Goldberg right now versus the Demon, the Demon would get fucking jackhammer around his fucking dome?
Bro, they would have this man like Keiji Muto. That man would be winning.
Wow.
Baron Corbin. Oh, excuse me. Happy Corbin. 81 overall.
Think of all the time we've wasted in our lives watching this sorry fuck get pushed like he was going to be the top guy. For him now in the video game to be treated like a geek. When we knew when he was still NXT,
off the rip.
Work.
Off the rip. So check this out. They have 2 versions of Hulk Hogan in the game. Hollywood Hogan and then Hulk Hogan. Now, is it me, James, or Hulk Hogan has not done any matches since 2010, right?
Something like that.
So WWE2K14 is the last one that I remember both of them being in before he was reinstated to come back into video games, which was a couple years.
Oh, so this is the last time he was in WWE before he niggerized himself out the paint.
Correct.
For a few years.
Correct.
Okay.
And then I remember Hulk Hogan, the red and yellow, was a 94 overall, and Hollywood Hogan was an 88 overall. Why did it change? Hollywood Hogan now is a 92. Hulk Hogan is a 91. Which one got better? Which one got worse? How did this happen?
I don't know, man.
They think we don't remember these things. That's why these ratings, like the average person, I don't think would even think of that, right?
I don't understand why we're changing the ratings from year to year or not year to year because the game didn't come out last year. But my point, like from edition to edition, like why would like the legend players like their ratings trains change so drastically from edition to edition? It makes no sense.
Io Shirai, 82. Getting that NXT rating. 82. Very low. Swerve is in the game.
What was Carmella?
Carmella was a 79.
Okay. That's less terrible. She's below Carmella. We'd be like, all right, let's wrap this shit up. All right, this is stupid.
Swerve was in the game. So Swerve's an 80 overall. So shout out to Swerve. They could have shown him a little more love, but Jake Roberts is an 85. I'm sorry. He's the number 2 babyface of the 80s. No, it should be higher. He should be like a 91.
I understand he's round longer. Do you think he's a bigger babyface than Ultimate Warrior? From 80, like just his run from 88 to like the last 3 years.
Well, obviously Warrior won the championship and stuff like that.
But that was that was like 1990.
Yeah, that was like 90s.
I'm not even counting that part. I'm just talking about like the what you threw out about him being the top or number 2 babyface of the 80s. And then I'd also argue Savage when he was the rare times he was a babyface.
Yeah, he was only a babyface for like a year, though. If that.
But I mean,
if that.
I agree, but man, that when he was the top baby, or the number 2 baby face, have they ever had a number 2 that good outside The Rock?
CM Punk.
I would still say like that touring schedule and that date. I mean, I think that's more of Hogan than Savage, but like, I mean, like there was I forgot what year it was. There's a certain point where you go through like the WrestleManias from year to year and the SummerSlam from year to year, and you're like, yo, Savage's program is kicking Hogan's ass consistently, from SummerSlam to WrestleMania, like basically like from at some point in the 80s to literally like 92, like until they're almost out the company, both of them. Like he just kicked his ass, and like, what would you rather see? Would you rather see like? I remember, what did Hogan do in London? At Wembley. What did he even do?
He wasn't on the show.
Right. So you have the match with Warrior, right? You have the match with Warrior. Then you have like WrestleMania 8. Oh, like it's Sid and it's Sid and Hogan, and then like motherfuckers missing their time cues and interfered, so there's no finish in the match. Oh, like what's Savage doing? Oh, Flair. Oh, okay. What are we talking about? What's there to discuss? Like Savage was kicking his ass as far as quality for the longest.
All right, I'll speed this up a little bit. John Cena is a 92 overall, which John Cena should be a 99 or 98 overall. Like, what is going on?
Like one of the 5 most important people in the company, 92. Fuck out of here. Like, bruh, Matt.
Look, yeah, he sure wasn't drawn like a 92 last summer.
Hey, Rich. Bill Russell, 92.
Exactly.
What?
Johnny Gargano, 82.
Makes sense given the NXT gap they put in the ratings.
Yep. Keith Lee, an 80. Kevin Owens, 85. Kofi Kingston, 88. Higher than Big E. Also, Kofi Kingston, Shawn Michaels, exactly the same. Kofi Kingston, Macho Man Randy Savage, exactly the same. Kofi Kingston, Andre the Giant, exactly the same. Kofi Kingston and Batista, exactly the same.
I do not think that Kofi Kingston will be getting the kind of treatment from this man that Shawn Michaels has gotten over the years.
Hey, Randy Orton and Kofi Kingston, both 88 overall, exactly the same.
Yeah, sure. Let Kofi Kingston fail a drug test, see what happens to him. Let him fail a drug test, see what happened to him.
Oh, Kushida, 79 overall.
I forgot who I was talking to about this, but I remember watching his last match in New Japan. It was a Corkin Hall at the beginning of that year against Tanahashi. And after the match, like Kevin Kelly's on commentary, and Kushida signs off to the crowd, and he starts, this is before the pandemic, so he's like shaking hands with people in Cork and all that kind of stuff, and taking pictures. I remember like Kevin Kelly was like, more or less, he was like, he'll be back. Like, please go back. Please go back. Please return. I know you want to go to America and make this shit work out, but like, bruh, like, they gave you like a handful of matches, and you were still fucking great, but they got you out here doing this bullshit. Like, come back, man. Come back.
Kyle O'Reilly, 81. He's in AEW now.
Yep.
Lacey Evans, also in 81.
One thing that I have not seen, I see a lot of stuff on my timeline. One thing I have not seen yet is people clamoring for and wanting to know when she's coming back. I haven't heard it not one time.
Well,
and I hear when people are out and injured, like when they're gonna come back all the time. When is Jungle Kiona coming back? When is Bailey coming back? Her? No.
Yeah, man. Someone that is talked about on the timeline a whole lot.
When is Kenny Omega coming back, Rich? We hear that all the time now.
Yeah.
We were just talking about Dante Martin.
True. Yep. Or Darius Martin.
Oh, yeah. Darius. Sorry.
Yeah. Someone is talked about quite frequently on the timeline, Liv Morgan. So
You want me to guess?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and guess?
I'm gonna say 84.
So an 84 would be a rating that you gave to someone they actually cared about and that actually won matches and was actually like kind of had some type of legacy or was pushed.
Just give me the rating. Just give me the rating.
The rating that Liv Morgan ended up getting was a 77. Because they don't give a fuck about her. That's why, which is what I'm trying to tell y'all.
Carmella. She is at that Carmella level.
Worse than Carmella.
Oh my God. Was Carmella a 79?
Yes.
Oh man.
Yes.
Oh man.
Yeah, so this is a person they do not care about. I need you guys to understand this. People in the YouTube comments. Macho Man Randy Savage, 88 overall. A travesty. An absolute travesty. Should be no lower than a 97. The $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, 85. He should be like a 91 at the minimum. All right. Montez Ford, 82.
That's low.
Mustafa Ali. Go ahead and guess that one, James.
Oh, God. 80 flat.
77. Someone who they do not also care about.
Yikes.
Pete Dunne.
81.
Exactly. Right on the money. Okay. Naomi, 79.
What? All right, man. Let's wrap this up.
Natalya, 84.
What? Natalya's 84. Naomi's a 79. All right. Okay.
I got another one for you. Nikki ASH, 82. Nia Jax, 82.
Fired.
Peyton Royce, 79.
Oh, my God.
Raquel Gonzalez, 81.
Wow. That makes sense, though. She was a champion by that time. They were doing the ratings for this.
Razor Ramon, 84. They sized him.
Yeah, that's no.
Razor should actually be the one that, there's that pool of 88s. He should be an 88 overall.
If all those people are 88s, then like
they should all be.
He should be like an 86 at the lowest. Then
right.
If we're going by like these gimmicks that mattered or whatever else, and not necessarily about skill level or whatever.
Oh, also Ric Flair is an 88 overall. Okay. So Kofi Kingston and Ric Flair exactly the same. Rey Mysterio is a 90. That may be the cover bump. Rhea Ripley, 86. Matt Riddle, 85. The Road Dogg, also 85.
The Road Dogg. Wait, the Road Dogg's rated higher than Razor fucking Ramon?
Yes, James. The Road Dogg is rated higher than Razor Ramon. In what fucking galaxy?
Okay, man.
Like, his tag team partner's not even in the game, James. You can't even, like there's no reason to even pick Jesse James. Like,
unless he's going for that hardcore championship, Jesse James.
Right. Roman Reigns, 95, the greatest wrestler of all time.
Whatever. If he's the greatest wrestler, if he's the best wrestler on the thing, he should be a 99 or a 98, whatever. Goofy rating system.
Check this out. Roddy Piper, 85. How?
Equal to Road Dogg.
Equal to the Road Dogg. This Road Dogg thing is probably the biggest offense thus far.
Road Dogg is out here, like, how many points in front of Ziggler?
3.
Ziggler's one of the greatest Intercontinental champions of all time.
Bro.
Road Dogg's a tag teamer.
The Road Dogg. 3 points behind Shawn Michaels, James. Samoa Joe, 86. 1 point ahead of the Road Dogg. Sasha Banks, also 88. But she's a woman, so they really, don't care. Like, she's really down there.
What was Charlotte in? 91?
Charlotte was a 90. Look, they gave Sasha and Bailey the same rating. They gave Charlotte a 90, and then they gave Becky a 92.
I really do not get this, like, this whole thing to pretend that, like, Charlotte was a bigger deal or a bigger star or more skilled than Sasha. Because none of that has ever been proven to be true.
Ever. There's no metric that says it. There's no fan support that says it. There's nothing that says this. Like, Sasha has randomly been stuck to Naomi to go for the tag team championships at WrestleMania that no one gives a fuck about, right? They would never do this to Charlotte. No.
Charlotte's never lost at WrestleMania.
That's fun. That's funny.
I'm dead serious. Like, I was thinking about this, I don't know when it was, but it might have been like when it was word that like Ronda was coming back. I was like, she's never lost WrestleMania. Like,
you mean she's never been pinned? Because she lost.
Yeah, she's never been pinned. She never been pinned or submitted at WrestleMania. Like so yeah, like 32, she wins. 33, she's in that match, but she doesn't get pinned. 34, she beats Asuka. 35, she doesn't get pinned.
She didn't get pinned. It was an elimination match. What happened at 33?
33 was a 4-way. That Bailey ended up winning.
But it was elimination, so someone had to beat her. It was Bailey, right?
Did Bailey beat her with an elbow drop?
I think Bailey beat her.
Okay then. That's her one loss.
That's the final two.
That's her one loss. All right. Okay, I stand corrected. So she lost one. She's been pinned one time in multiple WrestleManias. So like she has a better like track record than the greatest wrestler of all time at fucking WrestleMania, apparently.
Yeah, and Sasha Banks has never won at WrestleMania. Right. In contrast, so
right, even when it was like asinine, like 2 times it was asinine for her to lose.
Yep. Scott Hall, 90. Scott Hall from the NWO.
Okay. Oh, I'm not even going to get into it. That's dumb. You understand why that's dumb.
I got another one for you. Seth Rollins.
You want me to guess?
Yes, and consider that mound of 88s that we have. There are even more people that I haven't named that are also 88 overall.
He's going to be like a 93.
He's a 91, James.
So that's less bad than I thought it would be. But, like, that's like the rating AJ Styles is, right? 91?
Yes. They clearly handcuffed those two together.
So they had like this 2018. All right.
Yep.
All right.
It's funny. His all-time great. Seth Rollins, maybe his all-time great.
Yeah. And man just got his ass flipped on back-to-back pay-per-views like a geek.
Sheamus, 85, same as the Road Dogg.
In front of Razor Ramon.
Shinsuke Nakamura, 88.
Serious question. What?
Bro, everyone's a fucking 88.
Wait, hold on, bro. Like, Nakamura should be like, I know they're saying he's an IC champion, was IC champion for a long time, but he didn't defend that bitch. But like, how do you get away with saying that man's anything above the mid 40s or mid 80s? How can you get away with that?
No idea.
Like, if I were to go to a time machine and pull out like 2015 IWGP Intercontinental Champion Shinsuke Nakamura and plug him into the game, I don't think he'd be a fucking 88 the way WWE treats people. But now that he's a shell of himself, he's an 88. Fuck out of here.
Unbelievable, James. There's still like 4 or 5 people that have 88 overalls left.
All right.
Up next, Stone Cold Steve Austin, 92.
Let's see, if you said 88, you need to turn this shit off. 92 is ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. You should be a 99.
Yep.
99. Stephanie McMahon, 77. 6.
X-Pac Waltman, 6?
6. He's also in the game as X-Pac, but 6. I want you to guess the rating, James.
Like a 77.
88, James.
What?
6.
Nah, bro.
Exactly the same as Andre the Giant, Randy Savage, Shawn Michaels, Kofi Kingston. Are you fucking kidding me?
Hell no. Like, what was his biggest win in WCW? Beating Jericho?
Maybe he beat Ric Flair or something once. Maybe. But hell no. Like, do not let them try to, like, he was a dude in the NWO, like, bro.
He was a B-teamer, except his friends kept him from being a B-teamer.
Yeah, man, this is incredible, quite frankly. They gave him an 88 overall. Like, that's probably the most ridiculous rating next to the Road Dogg one.
Like, work-wise, yeah, I guess, sure. But, like, as far as the way he was presented as a star, fuck no, absolutely not.
The Miz, 86.
He was champion last year.
He was. One better than the Road Dogg.
Oh, my God.
The Miz and Samoa Joe, exactly the same.
Are you saying that, like, the Road Dogg missed his opportunity? If he had been 20 years or 15 years younger, then he could have been the champion in WWE?
Yeah, maybe.
Jesus Christ.
Up next, The Rock. Go ahead and guess his rating.
Jesus Christ. I'm going to say 94.
Nope. 93. He should be a 99 as well.
Right.
Let's see. Triple H.
95. 94.
You would think, right? But he's a 91. So he's still above all those people that are 88s and shit, right? So he's 3 points better than Shawn Michaels. In what fucking galaxy?
Jesus Christ.
I want to stop this narrative that I feel like is out there now, in the recasting and rewriting of history and stuff like that. Triple H was never, ever, in his wildest dreams, better than Shawn Michaels.
No.
Never.
The only advantage he ever had was that he wrestled guys that were way bigger than the guys Shawn ever wrestled. So, like, yes, he got Triple H got to stand diagonally from Steve Austin and Mick Foley and The Undertaker and The Rock. And Shawn Michaels got to stand up diagonally from, like, Mick Foley when he was Mankind with a mask on and people were scared of him and didn't love him, and The Undertaker when he was just getting out of his shell at that point in time, and Bret Hart. And, like, those guys that are on Triple H's side are, like, way bigger, and also Angle and whoever else you want to throw in there from that time. But, like, let's not pretend. Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah. Trish Stratus, 88. Bro, they were killing me with all these 88s. Ultimate Warrior.
Don't say 88.
88.
Get the fuck out of here.
Bro, they love this rating. I don't get it. I don't know why all these people are 88s. It's like, do y'all not know how to differentiate the talent levels here? Like, what is going on? So, Kofi Kingston and the Ultimate Warrior, exactly the same. So there's 4 different Undertakers, James. So the regular Undertaker is a 90. Ministry of Darkness Undertaker is a 93. Phantom Mask Undertaker is an 88. Of course, because there has to be another 88.
That's such an obscure time. That's like what? That's like a 9-month span of his whole fucking career. And we're gonna give him a.
In the Boneyard match, he's a 80. He's a 91.
Oh my god. Okay, so
Walter's a 86.
Boneyard, regular Undertaker from like the last, or from like basically like the tooth from like 04 to like 2015 or 14 or whatever.
Yeah.
Phantom Man's supposed to be like a stand in for like 90s Undertaker, and then Ministry of Darkness.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, whatever, man. I don't know why they're doing the Phantom Mask Undertaker. They could have just did like the
purple gloves.
Purple gloves and spats Undertaker. Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah, but that's it. That I don't think anyone else is. Oh, yeah. Xavier Woods is 86, and then regular X-Pac is 85.
Wait, so 6 was an 88. and X-Pac.
Yes. Bro, they couldn't even do it right. Like, they're like, you're supposed to, like, if you're WWE, and they did this with Hogan as well, they put, maybe it's because of the NWO thing and the marketing, that's why they fucked up these rankings, but you're supposed to put, like, the WWF gimmick as a higher guy.
But at least, like, have some, like, sense of reality to it. Like, X-Pac was not a bigger star in WCW than he was in WWE.
Right.
So, like, if you want to say, like, okay, well, Scott Hall compared to Razor Ramon, sure, that's the case. If you want to say, like, Hogan, being Hollywood Hogan at the peak of NWO was hotter than, like, let's say, any of the Hogan from 89 on or whatever you want to, or late 90s on, sure. But, like, I'm not going to pretend, like, 85 Hulk Hogan wasn't, like, one of the biggest fucking stars in the history of the industry. That's ridiculous. That's absurd.
Yeah. A lot of 88 overalls. That Road Dogg rating is absolutely fucking ridiculous. Yeah, but another year of goofy ratings. And, you know, next year we'll be back with our... we'll be back to talk about it again. But
maybe. It might not be an addition next year for all we know.
This is true. Yeah, but I guess, James, it's time to hit the music.
Okay, man. There was a lot of stuff we have not talked about with Stardom. I think it's more appropriate for us to talk about the storyline stuff than the matches. I can throw you some matches to say I would recommend. But right now, we've missed basically like 4 shows before we even got to the pay-per-view. So I'm just going to talk about like the storyline stuff to lead us here. There was a tag match, basically like 2 weekends ago, they had, or a trios match where it was, Donna Del Mondo versus, Cosmic Angels. They had Unagi and Tam and, Mai Sakurai versus Donna Del Mondo. I think it was the new goon squad of, Donna Del Mondo with Julia, so Mariah and Tekla. Anyway, for months now, Julia, ever since Julia came back, she has been making appeals to Mai to have her decide on whether or not she wants to, what she wants to do with her career and her allegiances, faction-wise. I'm pretty sure this got kickstarted from the end of the year stuff they were doing. So, at some point, I can't pinpoint when, but it was definitely before, Sumo Hall, for, Dream Queendom. They had did year-end stuff, basically promote, like, Stardom being on, whatever television, channel they are on terrestrially in Japan. And, so there was a lot of, interviews that were being done. So, like, there's one show, more or less, where it's talking about, like, going over, like, the 10-year history of Stardom with, Yusupon there, like, recapping big events from, like, almost like a beginning period for her time until she retired, and then a middle period of, like, focusing on, like, Mayu, Io, and Kairi until Io and Kairi leave Stardom, and then, like, focusing on, after that, like, basically from the time they get to Bushiroad signing them to, Julia and Tam and, Utami coming to the company. But anyway, during all that stuff, they had like these mini faction interviews, and in the one, I think I've sent you a video of the Cosmic Angels where like Mina's like doing this weird crazy dance and like Unagi's like narrating, and we're all like, I have no translation of what being narrated and what she's trying to attempt, but like it's like goofy, like what the fuck is this? Well, during that one with Cosmic Angels, they're going back and talking to Mai about like what inspired her for wrestling and joining Stardom, And she says she starts smiling, and she's like worried about the answer. She's kind of like, Julia? And then Tam jumps up and laughs. She's like, Julia? Why her? And then like gives her a kick. So flash forward to Julia coming back. Julia starts appealing to her like on the 1-3 show, I believe, and saying, you said that like, I inspired you in some way. You're gonna make a decision on what you want to do. And then after this after the match from a couple weeks ago, Julia, they go the distance, and it is rough, like, and it wasn't like I could just blame it all on Mai, because Julia wasn't like up to her game like she normally is, but it was rough. But by the time Julia finishes her off, she asks her for what she wants to answer, and then Mai is like, well, I want to join Donald Armando. And then Tam is like,
look, I don't want to practice dancing no more.
So that's what we're getting at. So Tam's like, what, you're leaving her for, you're leaving Cosmic Angels to join her. And then she goes, well, I don't want to dance. And the crowd laughs. And then Tam goes, well, let me ask you this. What about all the dancing that Julia and Shuri do when they were the fucking tag champions and dance to the ring like assholes? What about that? Right? They should have an answer for that one. I guess that's the dance that's okay. So anyway,
thug dancing right there.
Yeah. So anyway, Tam says, "You know what this means. You know what this means for you to join her. You know what this means to betray me like this. You know what this means, right?" And she goes, "Yes." And then Tam jumped her. And Unagi had to pull her, and the rest of DDM had to pull her Tam off of her. And I
guess Cosmic Angels is like the elite. You can't just leave.
I guess not.
I guess not. So, you gotta get whooped.
Well, no, she accepted it, but she was furious. So, because it's Julia, she leave her for. So, the other three Cosmic Angels pulled Tam off, and they're literally like on top of her to stop Tam from going after Julia and Mai. And they say their piece, and about leaving on the way out, Julia's like, she says to Waka, who's like, she's just like devastated. She's just so. Oh, also another part. Mina gets on the mic and was like, "You're leaving us? Like, we won the fucking faction of the year for the magazine awards. What are you doing? You're gonna leave us? Okay, fine, asshole." So then, Mai is just like, she's beside herself. She's inconsolable with tears. We're like, Tam is furious. Unagi's kind of like she's trying to almost like keep everybody together, because they're like going off the deep ends in the opposite directions of anger and sadness between like Mina and Walker just crying, and Tam's furious, wants to kill him. She's trying to just keep people from, trying to keep everybody from going nuts. So, Julia says to Walker, is like, well, look, you need to, someone's like, dry those tears, because now you have a rival. And it's kind of like getting to what happened with like Itsuki and Tall Saya or Kamitani when like they split up too. Is another version of that, like choose your own path. So that was the main thing storyline wise. And then the week before, the go home show at Korakuen Hall before the pay-per-view, they finally had prominence in for a match. It was Shuri and Tekla versus Risa Sera and Akane Fujita. I did not like this match as much as other people, apparently. I thought it was a good match. People think it's like 4 stars, and I don't think it's even close to that. But Shuri looks great in it. It's interesting to see Risa like in a Stardom ring, because I've only ever seen an Ice Ribbon, and like a lot of the girls in Ice Ribbon are smaller. So like, she's in, if she's in the ring with other women that are smaller, like and skinny, like Sayori Ano, I have no gauge for how tall and big she actually is. But then, like, I see her in it with Shuri, and I'm like, oh shit, she's bigger than Utami. Okay, like, so Anyway, the tag match was mostly built around Risa versus Shuri in Tekla versus Akane. Akane and Tekla, like, before Tekla left Ice Ribbon, they were in the middle of something anyway, over one of their belts, so it makes sense. But yeah, like, they set up, they end up going to the 20-minute draw, and then that's more or less setting up that, like, I think Shuri's going to end up in a title match or something personal with Risa Sera, while Suzu is focused on, or Suzu and Julia are focused on each other. I don't know when that comes to fruition in a singles capacity, or if it's going to be a tag team thing, but that seems to be the case. So after they go to the draw, they reiterated, like, we're going to make some noise at Sumo Hall for one of these shows. We might even fuck up your match until we get our matches, because you're ducking us. Especially Suzu saying this to Julia after this match. So, that's pretty much sets up the table as far as like the important storyline progression stuff before we get to the pay-per-view. So, let's get to the pay-per-view. What match did you see from the pay-per-view?
The last two.
The last two. Okay. So, let me pull up my notes. Okay, so the first match was the Futures Belt match. It was Hannah versus Kogo. I thought it was a good match. I ended up giving it 3 stars. At the end, Hannah ended up beating Kogo with her bridging backdrop suplex.
This is for the SWA?
No, that's the Futures Belt. It's for the Futures Belt.
My bad.
Yeah. That was the opener. Second match was Utami and Lady C. Lady C sporting the new gear. This Seku C gear, the sexual C gear.
Yes, sexual C.
Yeah.
Not Mark Henry.
So it's Utami and Lady C versus Momo and I believe Ruaka.
You can't just drop the sexual C and then not fill them in.
I'm not. Okay, so she came out with some new gear, and for some reason, like, because like she has like I can't even explain, like a slit in like the backside, so you see like a sliver of booty meat, I guess. So she called it so she typed sexual C or Seku C for sexy in her tweet, and then on the translation it comes out and says sexual C. So
that's her new name from now on. You know, on this show, this is sexual C now.
Oh my god! Yeah. So it is Utami and C versus Momo and Ruaka. They have a good match. Is more based on Momo and Utami and Momo's turning on Queen's Quest. But by the end, you end up having or Lady C end up getting beat. And they're still hot at each other. Like, I don't think officially it can be said yet, because there's because there's other stuff in the line. Same thing with the Julia and Suzu stuff. But like, I feel like we're going to get a big Utami and Momo match on the second night of the Sumo Hall show. Same for Julia and Suzu Suzuki / DDM versus Prominence. But we'll get to in a second. So third match, Mayu and Tam versus Saki and Death. I missed this. It was fun to see. Like, they took care of work. There was one spot where there was a malfunction at Junction, but no one turned on each other. No one thought the other one was trying to betray the other one. They just went right back to work, and they quickly dispatched of the Oedo Tai olds, and like it looked like they hadn't missed a year with each other. Post match, backstage while being interviewed, Mayu said is like she wonders if let me backtrack. Tam comes out first, and Mayu comes out. Mayu comes to the ring, and then like she looks at Tam, and then Tam stares at her like one of them, like squaring up, like we're really doing this, and they end up fist bumping each other, and they wrestle the rest of the match. But after they win the match, they fast forward. By the way, Saki and Mayu had some good exchanges. Mayu ends up beating her with a moonsault. But they go to the back and they talk about it. It's like, it's been a long time, but, it's almost like riding a bike. And then Mayu starts asking, like, I wonder if, like, cross-faction wise, we can be tag team champs or whatever else. And God damn it, they've done it. Like, I have never talked to you about this, Rich, but I always thought, like, the Tam Mayu story had to be paid off by, after all these years of all Tam ever wanted to do was be tag champs with Mayu, for them to be tag champs eventually after all this some point. Like, that's the way you wrap this up in a nice bow of multiple years. And now they're already teasing and like, I can't wait. I can't wait.
So ain't nobody beat nobody yet?
We can get to that. We can get to that too. That could be a year down the line or whatever else. There's time. There's still time. There's only like a year and a half, but there's still time. But yeah, like, so, and then, Tam and Mayu are like in tweets about people saying they want to see them back as tag teams and shit. And I'm like, look, I'm looking through trying to translate that, read the translation in Japanese. And I'm like, this is toxic. I shouldn't care about this much. This is fucking stupid. Anyway, next match.
Trying to cross gangs up and whatnot, like, I don't know.
Hey, they've done, there's precedence. They did it with B and Jamie. Between Oedo Tai and
that's true. But they're evil. So
I mean, B turned evil. There's no denying that. So after that, you end up getting. I just
want to see Mayu attend one of the dance practices. That's it.
But she do better than Waka. So next match after that, you get the Donald Del Mondo Trios match. It is Shuri's Donald Del Mondo versus Julie's Donald Del Mondo. It is Shuri and Micah and Himeka versus Julia and Tekla and Mirai. And this also is building as a outpost match for the first night of Sumo Hall, because it's going to be Julia versus Shuri for the red belt in night one. And I thought this match was great. They went down the closing stretch. It went to a draw, just like you guessed, Rich. Just like we all figured. But like I figured, hey, Tekla's right there. You could beat fucking Tekla, but they didn't. Which is like, when people complain, if people have any reason to say there was no reason to beat there, or they couldn't beat anybody in this match, they had Tekla right there to beat her. But anyway, closing stretch comes down to Julia and Shuri, and they were great together. They started throwing each other with German suplex on each other's necks and heads. It was awesome. And they ended up closing out, like, fighting on their knees as the bell rings. So like they're going to kill it when they have their match. Like Stugatz, because you guessed it?
Yes.
Okay. So next match after that, you end up getting Kaguma and Hazuki versus Mina and Unagi. And this was a very good match. It was, out of the last four matches, the weakest match, but like I still gave this 3.5. A lot based on the stuff that Hazuki and Unagi have done since November, when they had themselves went to a challengers, a red belt and white belt challengers match where they went to a 15-minute draw where they started pump kicking the shit out of each other. And they did that just here in this match too. Pump kicks, trading pump kicks, blowing each other's faces up. And then by the end, you end up getting, I believe it was, Mina ends up getting pinned by Kaguma. She ends up getting hit with a top rope splash where, like, Mina was like 2/3 of the way away from the corner, and like I was like, I don't know if Kaguma was gonna make this. Kaguma was like, please, air bear. Is getting splashing it to win. Yeah. So then we get to the real shit. Starlight Kid versus Izumi for the high speed title. Man. We've been watching Stardom since 2019. And they had the match that I thought they were going to they were going to be able to have each other, like, in, 3 years from now. Right fucking here.
Why would you think it would take that long?
Because I never thought they were going to get the positioning to be able to do it in the time. Like, it wasn't about ability. Like,
I was going to say, like, they've clearly been on this trajectory ability wise.
Yeah. But the thing is, you know how it is. Like, for years now, hell, let's see. Ever since Azumi was 16, I thought, like, damn, this could probably be the best women's wrestler in the world by the time she's 24. But the reason why I said 24 is because, like, position to be able to be in the main event, to have matches that go longer than 10 or 12 minutes, to be able to rack up great matches. She's not going to be getting that until she's older, and then Starlight Kid, same thing. And then, like, once you keep adding in more and more women from outside places, it's going to be harder and harder for them to break through to get to the top, to be able to do main event these shows. So it's like,
they know what it is with this rivalry.
Right. So, well, it's good to know now, because, like, there's so many people that are so talented on this roster that people get left in the cracks. That's why people retire. Like, you know, like, Momo's one of the best wrestlers in the world. She doesn't get that much shine anymore. Like, this, I mean, obviously this heel turn and what's going to happen with Utami is great for her compared to last year, when she was just, like, great matches, storyline-wise, not much. But for me, it was just like, I don't know, like, with that whole Golden Generation thing that Rossi is promoting with Kamatani and Micah and Himeka and Utami, is like, well, shit. When is Starlight Kid and Azumi going to be able to go out here and get 18 minutes on a big show to go nuts? Mm-hmm. It just happened to happen here. It's a C-level pay-per-view, so that's the only reason why it happened. Like, they won't be able to, like, you know, they could have done this at Sumo Hall for Wrestle Dream Queendom. They didn't. They ended up throwing Kakuma in the match. And they put him like third or fourth on the card. But yeah, man, like, this match is incredible. This is like the match that, like, you thought they had in them. This is a match, like, if you saw their October 3rd, 2020 opener for the first pay-per-view that Stardom had. Like, there's just a better, longer version of that match. Basically based around the same thing. Like, Azumi just is going to get a hold of Starlight Kid's arms at different points and keeps slapping on, like, crazier, more severe looking submissions until eventually Starlight Kid breaks, and she has no choice but to tap out after being just, like, ravaged with her arms. And this match is spectacular. Like,
kind of a shock title change, and, you know, I don't think people were anticipating. So
yeah,
I'm very happy to see Azumi get the belt here, because it feels like Starlight Kid is, like, due for, like, an elevation in the wake of this, and I love the match as well. RLPW for sure, like, minus the flying part, but it was very fast, and you know, I don't like the dives in Stardom anymore. Like, I'm just over them. Diving on 100 people just takes them out of it for me. I was like, yo, learn to catch. But aside from that, no complaints about this match at all. It was full of energy, full of, like, you know, we're watching, like, I don't know, me at least, I'm watching the story of Starlight Kid and Azumi, and this is just the next natural level of it. And one day they're going to be fighting for the red belt, and it's going to be great. So
yeah,
we're here.
Yeah, I was over the moon for this match. I you know, they were doing the voting for which title match we're going to go on last. Like, I didn't vote, but if I could have, I would have voted for this. I ended up seeing the voting end up being like 43% for the white belt and 44% for the white belt and 34% for the high speed belt, and then everything else got destroyed. But I was so happy watching this match. I was, like, in a weird way, I have rarely ever had this emotion while watching a wrestling match, but, like, I felt proud. I swear swear to God, I'm so proud. I was like, I can't believe they were able to do this. I can't believe anybody got a shot to do this, and they fucking knocked out the park. And like, they had that kind of match where it's like, this is one of the greatest matches in Stardom history, and like, they're gonna have to start making decisions with this shit. Like, you know, like, we talked about the Golden Generation thing that Rossi's pushing, and it's like, after watching this match and then watching that main event, is like, all right, you want to push him back in? You want to push him back in, Micah? In Micah? That's fine. I'm having no problem with that. How long you gonna hold off? Natsupoi, Starlight Kid, Momo Watanabe, and Azumi to do it? Like, if you want to talk about that Golden Generation shit, then if those are the pillars, then like, we gotta talk about these killers / the Platinum Club or whatever else we want to fucking call them, because those four are fucking awesome, and they're younger than that whole generation.
And then you got to start factoring their grand plan, like, it's already underway. Like, Kyrie's back, and you know they want Io back, so It's like, you got to factor them in too. Like, I don't know, if it's up to me, like, you know, Starlight Kid and Azumi is going to be taking Kyrie down. You know, like, I don't feel like Kyrie's just come in and just run people over, but you know,
I agree. I think that given the way that the year is laid out. Like, you know, I thought like at the end of last year, it was like, it's almost a no-brainer that Starlight Kid was going to win the Cinderella tournament. Nothing has dissuaded me from thinking that now.
Freed up.
Yeah. So, I don't know given how good Kamitani's doing, I don't know if I'd take the belt off her immediately, but like, I feel like Starlight Kid should be the person to take the belt off of Kamitani eventually before the end of the year.
That's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, like, so yeah, like for me.
Look, and then she reaches down, pulls Azumi up with her, like, right. Eventually.
So that's that's kind of the thing with the timing, right? It's like, all right, well, like, if Starlight Kid is moving up to being the white belt, or being a white belt champion or white belt series challenger for it, then like, what are we going to do with this high speed belt? All right, well, we'll put it on Azumi. We'll have Azumi be the champ for like 6 months, whatever else. And then like, we'll push a button on her. Like, once we, you know, get the shit to Starlight Kid. So like, it's happening, it's happening. It's just, you know, when you think of it, I think we'll have a clear picture once they wind down Tam and Mayu, because they're going to cycle out like in the next 18 months or so. Like, once we'll get a clear picture of all of that, of the grand scheme, once that happens, if that happens, because, you know, people talk about retiring, but they're wrestlers.
Yeah. Besides that, we had the main event, right?
Yep. Kamitani versus Saya for the white belt. Man, this match was great. And like,
I almost sent some inflammatory out on the timeline, but I just didn't want to.
She's better than Sasha Banks?
I was going to say, Saya Kamitani is better than any woman in the United States.
I mean, I had to rewatch the match. I thought the match was great. I ended up only giving it 4 1/4. I
was the same on that.
Okay.
I went 4.5 on Starlight Kid and Azumi.
Yeah, I went 4 3/4 on that one. I thought I was just really impressed with like they had to follow it. They did not do a bad job trying to follow it.
Bro, it was like I was watching the beginning of the match, and you know, Natsupoi is the high speed fairy, and then you know, Saya Kamitani's sticking right with her, and it's like, yo, she's just a tall high speed wrestler, so it's like, she was like right there, like, and it was like, oh, she's just tall. But then she was doing like good tall person stuff. Like when she came off the top rope with the drop kick, I was like, bro, this is like what Booker T used to do. Like, she did the missile drop kick for the top rope, send the person back flipping essentially.
I have to think about it. A lot of people do that in Stardom. I have to think about it. Like, the thing that got me was like, you know, she's a huge Ibushi mark.
Oh yeah, so they did that.
They did the Ibushi Ospreay shit where it's like, I'm going to German you off the middle rope or off the top rope. She flips off to her feet. They didn't do the camera angle where like it catches like Natsupoi like right in her face, being shook from behind, looking at the corner of her eye, seeing her up. But like she gets up. there's an evasive maneuver, and then like she goes for like, and then that's what goes for like some type of like leg sweep or basement drop kick, and Kamatani like just, you know, basically double foot stomps or does a jumping double foot stomp, and I was like, yeah, you watch too many Ibushi matches. You got to stop this. But yeah, like the match was awesome. Like there was you know, obviously, in a lot of these Kamatani matches, they hold on to a, you know, for that Hurricane Rana pin, or in this case, like they were waiting for that. I was waiting for that Natsupoi fairy blink deal where, you know, she does a step up thing and the spin and the half sprint, spin off pin that she does, and like they saved it and they marked it out, or they saved it and they placed it well in the match, or like the way they sequenced it. People and it was awesome, shit. And then they finished Natsupoi off, and then ended up hitting their Kamatani ends up beating Natsupoi with the Phoenix Splash, and another great match. One of the best matches of Kamatani's career. Like, might be second, might be third. Like, I really loved her match with Shuri in the first night of the Grand Prix. But yeah, like she's on fire. She's on fire. They gave her, you know, from the Grand Prix, or basically from when she won the Cinderella tournament to when they put her in there with Tam the first time, when she had those bad ribs and still managed to have a great match, and then put her in the Grand Prix, and she was having bangers in the first, night 1 and night 2. Had a better match with Tam once she healed up some, and on one of those like Road 2 level Grand Prix matches. You know, had a match with Takumi that was great. You put her in a ring with someone that's good and a match is important, she's going to have a great match, period. Like, regardless of, and I think she's even better I think she's getting more consistent on house shows too. Like, she's starting to become like, just fully, instead of just like, she's great but inconsistent, like, nah, she's just great now. She's just great.
Welcome to the Kamatani Club. Yeah.
Well, she's gotten better. I'm not about to give it to somebody if they don't get better.
Like,
you know who else is getting better? Unagi.
Oh, also, you know, got the vision. She's not
no damn Kamatani. No, I'm not finna go there. But like, as far as like her instincts have picked up. She moves around the ring a lot better. Like, she's doing a lot less of the stutter step stuff. I mean, she's always been. I mean, by now she's been more than reliable in tags or whatever else. But like, she has stepped up now that she is not like being asked to be the third person in the group now. Now that she's in there, like mostly when she's with Tam and she's like number 2, and that she's in there now she's in there with Waka all the time instead of it being Mina. Like, she stepped up her game. Like the roster keeps getting better every single month. There's a new person comes up and they show what they got to do, and they show improvement in the roster. Go ahead.
So you know what Natsupoi reminded me of? She reminded me of like a middle school kid that has a lot of skills that plays high school basketball, and it's like, oh, they're really fucking good, but like they're just smaller than everyone. So it's like, okay, all right, if you come out here lacking, she'll catch you or whatever. But chances are you're going to be like ahead of her or whatever, just because of like, you know, you guys are high schoolers and this is middle schooler. But she'll hang in there with you and be competitive. That's what it felt like when I was watching it.
Look, this is what I'll say. They're going to have to come up with a really good reason for why Natsupoi will not be a white belt champion. What, like, when we talk about the criteria thing, the whole like Isaiah Thomas, I met the criteria, but I was not called. Like,
I was not selected.
Remember when we were doing the Sasha Banks or the Stardom roster thing, and you were like, I don't know about her. And for her, I was like, the skill, Sasha cannot work her, but she just hasn't been given the matches to be able to do it. But like, when she's ever given an opportunity, she absolutely is better than Sasha Banks. This is more proof. She's fucking awesome. Like, she's super charismatic. I don't know. I don't know what would have to. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what, besides grow 3 inches. What does this woman have to do to be a top champion in Stardom?
I feel like
over the next 3 years. Yeah. She's fucking awesome. She's fucking awesome. She's awesome in like that undeniable way where it's like, Are we just going to ignore this? Are we going to pretend we're not seeing what we see every single week? Like, she comes out here and she busts her ass and is awesome and as consistent as anybody on the roster, like the level of Tam, or Shuri too. She's fucking awesome.
She's an import, unfortunately. So
was Tam.
She gonna have to wait.
Fine. It needs to happen. But you talking about this import thing? You talking about this import
also,
thing?
she's like what, number 5 in her unit?
She's 5, but it's like, when's the last time Himeka had a title shot?
Wasn't it like, I'm thinking of Micah. Never mind.
Himeka has had a title shot since like let's see. She's never had a Red Belt title shot. Her last title shot was like 2020 against Julia in like, was it
I feel like they
late
do
October?
different things. I feel like they do different things.
Oh, they do. They absolutely do. But my point is like, Don Del Mondo has been presented as number 1 faction. They're 8 deep now. They're due to split any time. Like, Natsupoi is going to be a number 2 in a faction. In a vacuum. Like, there are not 7 or 8 wrestlers better than her in Stardom. Fuck no. Right. She's awesome.
So like, I feel like for her to like get some type of look, like they would have to reshuffle that shit.
Break it up. I don't give a fuck. Like,
break it up.
Look, DDM's OP. Cosmic Angels they
Oedo Tai
them
still
like a drum
malnourished
right now. Sorry.
Is Oedo Tai still malnourished?
They are the land of like undesirable toys. They are. But like, I mean, they still got Momo and Kid, right?
Yeah.
But like, if we were going to do this, if we were going to try to like, we're going to make these factions evil so people can win and lose. We got pennies.
James, that's what we need to do. We need to do our own Stardom draft.
What do you want to do it?
We'll set up one of these weeks. Yeah,
right,
for the Stardom segment,
do it next week or something like that.
We will like rotate the units for picks, and then like we'll figure out where everyone should be.
Okay, but like, I'm sorry, man. Like I'm just not gonna get off this part where it's like, I first saw her in Tokyo Joshi Pro, and she was a mid-carder getting her ass beat by Sarai before Sarai left to be Sarai in WWE. And I was just like, she's one of the best wrestlers on that roster. Why can't this woman get a push? And then she left for Stardom, and now I'm like, fuck. She was one of the best wrestlers on the Tokyo Joshi Pro wrestler. She was the best fucking wrestler. They didn't push her. What company does this woman have to go to be a top champion? Fuck. She's awesome. But that's all I got on Stardom. For a C pay-per-view, they gave you 2 killer matches. In like, that is what? Natsupoi's 26 turns 27 this year. Kamitani turned 25 in like October. Azumi turned in October 19. Kid turns 21 this month, or just turned 21.
You are looking for rising stars that are young. Like, look no further.
Kamitani, like, third year anniversary working in this business until April or August. I think August 10th is her third anniversary.
Yep.
Damn near 4.5 star match. Meltzer gave 4.5.
Yeah, man.
Hey! What's Lacey Evans and Raquel Gonzalez doing?
Turning 30-ish.
What's Liv Morgan doing?
Trying to drum up fan outrage.
Okay, there you go. All right.
Like, these are the people y'all need to take interest in. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything else for the show.
Yeah. So apparently, AJ Styles and Edge has become final. That's going to happen at WrestleMania. Edge was the person that answered Edge's challenge. So combined 91 years old between them. Yeah.
Wait, AJ's what, 40, mid-40s, right?
44.
And Edge is like 47 or some shit, right?
Yeah, but Edge feels like he's older. Like, bro,
we saw him first wrestling like 96, Rich.
Bro, I saw a picture of Edge on Raw, bro. He looks like he should be hanging out with Willie Nelson, bro.
So my question is this.
Fuck.
My question is this, right? So, like, apparently they suggested to Ciampa to dye his beard to get rid of the gray. How come they didn't make that same suggestion to Edge?
Look, you would think they should, since they're paying.
I make $3 million a year. You can kiss my ass.
Maybe that's what he said. But I don't know. He need to cut that. No, he can't cut that shit because I remember he looked crazy without the beard. Yeah,
he would look worse because his face would look more sunken. You would be able to see how more sunken in his face is than what the beard is hiding.
Yeah,
like that's the thing. Like when you get older, like to be ripped or whatever else, like you just lose bulk or whatever else, and it even happens to your face. It's weird.
Yeah, man. But make sure you guys check out the AEW Who We Are album. It is out. I played it in a Twitch Spaces the other night, and most of it's like surprised me really. And I was like, man, people really brought their A games. So I know it's going to be on streaming in April. The business aspect of it has been taken care of, so I'm very happy about that. So I look forward to seeing what comes in the mail. But that's pretty much it. That's all I got. Okay.
Thanks for listening, y'all. Be sure to rate us on whatever app you're using to listen to this with. If you're on the stream, what is it? Hit us up with the bits.
Yeah, do the bits.
The bits. And go to Red Circle and drop us off with a donation. Be sure to listen to the other shows on the network besides One Nation Radio. You have Keepin It Strong Style. You have the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Podcast. You have Groman Watches Shit. You have the Grave Consequences Podcast. You have All Things Elite. You have 8-Bit Suplex. You have Great Match Generator. And you have AEW Match Guide. Thanks for listening, y'all. Later.
Peace.